Cool.
Just wanted to take a picture.
Right.
Aiden, would you do a little welcome?
Yes, I can do a little welcome. Hello, welcome everybody. This is weird. This is probably just going to be us watching later, but hi, Seth, Simon, Joel, Daniel, Samuel, Isaac, hopefully, David, Providence, and anybody else who has come to join us, watching us be super nerds and have a ton of fun exploring the world. I'm super nervous. That's because I've never done anything like this before. It's cool. This is really fun. I'm gonna have fun. But I'm also really excited because this has been something we've been talking about for a while. Just being able to record it and memorialize our fun stuff. I don't really know. I don't have any announcements. I don't have any sponsors. I don't have anything like that. So, I just want to say thank you to Sam for coming and setting all this up and doing all the hard and incredible work of getting all this ready, because we literally couldn't do this without Sam. So thank you, Sam.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it.
Glad I could. Thank you to Aiden for financing most of it. I mean, I had the cameras, but
The most expensive equipment, yes. I got the pens.
he got the paper.
I did.
No, he got the mics and the mixer and the cables.
It was not just me though. Everybody chipped in.
I made the
Good
coffee.
stuff. You did. Actually, that might have been out of everything the most important thing.
Definitely the coffee.
So for a little bit of background, this is session 20. So if anybody who's new watching this is session 20 of a campaign that we've been playing for
Years.
a couple years, 5 years, 5+ years, scattered. So it's been a while. We haven't had as much consistency as we want to, but so if we're hopping a little confused, hopefully coming, if this is on the YouTube channel, there will be videos explaining who all these people are, the characters, perhaps synopsis of the story to this point, maybe a world introduction, things like that. Those are eventually coming. No promises on time.
Hopefully on Spotify too.
Hopefully, again, on Spotify too. Yeah. But at the moment, if you're, this is, probably a little bit confusing as to what's going on. That's okay.
That's good. Thanks for
That's
the
great.
street.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Is that all? Is that all I think? I think it's.
Yeah, I think we're good to go.
Alrighty. I'm excited. This is gonna be really fun. Wind blows harshly across a battered and destroyed rubble of a city. Sitting on her knees, covered in soot and dirt, tears streaking her dirty, cut, bleeding face, dressed in a ragged, once beautiful and luxurious silk robe, this crimson dark red with different golden gilding that kind of runs down in different patterns, and with the stars and stellaris and images of the Elune and the Elune skirt. She now sits looking up into this dark, bleak sky, and around her at once was the great unification of the peoples. This small, like smoldering tendrils of smoke, curling across this long, expansive landscape where once were massive, great soaring buttresses and city walls and, agoras of trade and great palaces of science and thought, now crumbled, destroyed, misted with ash, burning with hellfire, and quiet whispers of lost souls floating around in the ethereum. Her breath steadies. She doesn't know how long she's been here. How many hours, days, weeks. She kind of sits in this indented crater where she had fled and landed, fleeing her fellow compatriots and members of the Divine Gate. She now curls her hands into a fist. She hears the sounds of what she knows is an incoming something or someone behind her. This beautiful, bright, golden streak comes through the sky, burning through the mists and tearing away the clouds as it streaks in from the west, what was considered the capital. Dust and motes around and kind of sparkles a little bit. Some of it kind of turning into little ethereal butterflies of bright white and gold as it scatters around. She looks up. Carrot. She kind of stands up. Carrot, it wasn't me. Please, please. And she falls back on her knees and starts like crawling towards this beautiful, floating white hair, massive, towering 6'8", with this like lion-like armor piece that extends into a beautiful roar with these beautiful jade gem eyes, this golden heavy mail and plate with this huge sword that has about 6 feet long. It's taller than him, and he's got a double-handled, beautiful, again, another lion encrusted in the hilt and pommel. He pulls himself up. She says, please, it wasn't me. I don't know who it was, please. She's like pulling herself through all the dust and the ash that she created when she landed. He looks up, bright, beautiful blue eyes, white, long, flowing, perfectly clean hair. Is in stark contrast to the surrounding destruction. He seems to be perfect and pure and unaffected by any of the destruction around him. His eyes look up. He says, Vedran, you are a fool. Kind of a sad look on his face. He says, you knew that the gods were not friendly to themselves. You knew the gate would fall. Eventually. Vedran, she's just tears streaking. She said, no. It was perfect. It was perfect. As she pulls herself forward, a key that you see, a black, heavy laden key with what looks to be a very simple iron chain connects to her wrist, and this little circlet around her wrist, and it seems to continue up her arm. She starts dragging him along. She says, no, please. Why? Why did you do it? She says, Vedran, I was just following what the gods willed. It's not my fault that you were on the wrong side of the betrayal. He looks down. He kind of just shifts himself up. And this looks around at what was the unification. This is nothing. Mere shadow of what they held. True beauty in celestial form, Vedran. Kind of like a pandering voice. Tears continue to streak down, and she stops crawling, and just at this point she's just completely at his feet. She says, but they were people. All of them. All of the work. The lies. He just, oh. Fools. Dead. Those who are wise live. Just kind of puts his foot on the back of her head. And I am no fool. Takes the sword. 1,000 years later, a little boy riding in with his father and his mother from a small town, well, then a small town called Gridlin, are riding across the plains of what at that point was known as the Slight Compact, or some tenuously called it the Riven land, others Riven home. No one yet would know it as Rivia for another 60, 70 years. Little boy hops off. Blonde hair, blue eyes. A handsome young man. Not educated, but very few were post-torrent. He stumbles across the field. He's looking for somewhere he can relieve himself. And he kind of, I'll be right back, Mom. Kind of slides down and kind of trundles on away. And, you know, parents are accustomed to this thing. This is normal. They're a cart laden with different various goods. They have some hunting that they've done, some skins that they've traded for, some other more luxurious goods like carpets and thread work and the like. They're going to trade, or with the hopes of trade. He kind of slides down the small ravine that looks to go into this little pit of some kind, which he thinks is going to have some privacy. As he slides, he trips over something and skids on the ground. He looks up, he's like, what the? And kind of scrambles back up, taking a path up the ravine side, kind of on his scuffed arms and knees that he unknowingly completely mirrors the why are you laughing? The fallen veteran. His hand lands on something solid, hard, and black. Pulls it out. This long, black key. He looks at it. He's like, huh. What's this? Kind of tucks it away. And he doesn't really think about anything. Doesn't think about the oddness of it. He relieves himself and kind of starts trundling his way back. His parents look over and they say, Matthias, come on, let's hop back on the cart. He oh, well, I found this weird thing. Kind of pulls it out. He's like, look at it. I'm like, throw it away. No, this is so cool. Why would I throw it away? You guys never let me have anything interesting. Throw it away. I was like, why? Dad just kind of let him have it. Can't do us any more harm. And he's like, see, Mom, listen to Dad. And he kind of, she just glares at him. She says, you should throw it away. He's like, I do what I want. And she's like, she kind of eyes a whip that she's had in the back that has gone relatively unused for the last couple years. And she kind of looks at him, looks at the dad, and just goes back to feeding the baby. Another 150 years pass. And in a oddly moving swamp-like area with grass that seems to float on the top of water, at the door of a tower that's very small, ramshackled with kind of almost like a windswept roof. A very tall, handsome, well put together, clean shaven, still oddly young looking man is knocking at the door. He says, you're making me laugh. He says, Waniin. And inside, two very surprised inhabitants are sitting. Waniin's face pale. Waniin, don't make me have to use my key. That's where we left off. Durgan. Yes, is that Durgan? I'm sorry. Davian. Davian. In the moments that follow, Waniin's face. Not yet. He shoves the ring into your hand. He says, "Go now. Think about where you want to go, and leave. Put it on. Put it on." As you're putting it on, what do?
I put it on.
Okay, I'm gonna give you at least 30 seconds to make a decision about where you're going.
Okay. Oh crap.
You can't consort with anybody else.
I'm gonna put it on. I'm just gonna go back to the Basikaal.
What are you imagining? What are you thinking about?
Imagine the tavern in Basikaal.
Okay, make a d20 roll for me.
Okay. Yeah. Here.
I should tell you before you roll. If you roll anything above a 3, you'll be able to go to the place that you want to. If you roll anything 3 or lower, there will be some kind of a negative effect that you will also determine on a different roll.
It's 12.
It's 12. Okay. So you put it on. As you're putting it on, the world kind of pulls around you in your eyes, something that you hadn't experienced when you had vamped before, but it seems like it happens when you are the one that's causing the vamping to occur. You start to imagine this kind of a vague image of Basikaal. What specifically are you thinking of?
The tavern.
The tavern, the inside of the tavern. And you kind of like are recalling these memories, these scattered memories of the discussion that you guys had recently about the tavern inn, where you were sitting, these different areas. But all these kind of fragments kind of start to oddly solidify into this very vivid, almost window-like image of this tavern in Basikaal. And it kind of, your vision tunnels, everything kind of goes around it. You hear dimly a sound of kind of something exploding, kind of tearing, a flash of white and blue light. As you see the very periphery, as it starts to close in your body, you feel being pulled through the paths. It seems as if the beautiful, massive interior that you and Waniin were in kind of starts to tear away and fold back, where this kind of blue-white crackling energy kind of tears it, and you see Waniin's eyes bright white with fear, kind of pulling back away, and you're back in Basikaal with the vamping ring. Now, you were gone for, let's say, an hour, 2 hours, something like that. In that time, back in Basikaal, there was a discussion occurring. Talma and Ren were discussing things with you, the remaining party that was still in the tavern. As you all are sitting around, Aramor, Velith and Aramor are still up in the chamber upstairs. You guys had been sitting at lunchtime, and these two strangers had walked in, and you guys had introduced themselves as Talma and Ren. So you guys found out they were members of House Lorea. With further investigation, some of you had formulated opinions. I think actually I forget exactly who it was, but they were blade singers of House Lorea. Or Daniel. And okay, they were blade singers of House Lorea. After a brief discussion, you guys were. They had offered you a strange deal that basically included a retrieval of a very powerful item that they at first were very vague about, but eventually they revealed was a dragon egg. And in return, they said that they could in some way affect the tracking and the following of the Onyx contact. What had eventually happened is, in discussion around Durgan, and what you guys were going to do with Durgan, whether you were going to bring him to the Bright Queen, whether you're going to leave him, it had become clear that you required a bantling ring of some kind, and that Waniin was no longer willing to be your fairy and continually take you around the different places of the realm, but instead you required some other form independent of him. He obviously in turn was going to take the finger, and I think that was it, right? He was just taking the finger.
Just the finger. Which he has.
Which he has.
No, he doesn't. I saw it. He's right. I saw it.
You do see, like, because the deal was that he was keeping the finger until he
It comes
returned.
back to me, and I'll give it to him.
That's exactly right. You did not have the
He
finger.
did. He's dead. He can die there. Did he come back with him?
We'll find out in a second. Oh yes, the discussion about you requiring a bamfing ring in order to, one, just have more ability to move around Andrial freely as your scope begins to broaden and as there becomes more and more increasing burden outside of your immediate purview. Memories immediately should come to mind of Onslin, of other things, of whispers about things happening in Rona, Thresdian. The result was, of course, that Durgan would go with Waniin to get the bamfing ring.
Dave.
I keep on calling you Durgan. I'm so sorry. Davian.
Offended me.
My brain is still on Durgan. You're right. The Davian would go with Waniin to get the bamfing ring. In the interim, there was a discussion occurring about the retrieval of this dragon egg, this potential retrieval of this dragon egg. Now, Talma and Ren had explained to you that the dragon egg would be returning on a RTS or the Riven Trading Society vessel of some kind, and they would be following the path, or a pass that is very common among the East Coast traders from the Anarch Archipelago and beyond, and they would come to specifically a small hidden port in a cove in the a couple miles to the east of Basikaal, through the mountains, where they would then come and train, often with, let's say, less than legal items into import into Rivia. It's very common. Rivian customs typically don't affect those traveling routes because, well, two reasons. One, it's somewhat profitable in Rivia, and two, they're not technically under the purview of Rivian government. Because technically Basikaal is right on the edge of the Rivian kingdom, and then also kind of in the lands of the people of the Nine. If you guys want to look at the map, you can see that a little bit more clearly. But essentially what they had left you with was the opportunity to retrieve the dragon egg. And I kind of want to just resume that conversation because I feel like there's some things that still need to be talked about. And then this is immediately after Waniin, Durgan left. Ren and Talma kind of, that get any easier? They're all looking around like, you guys are totally unaffected. Just like, jeez, sit down. Well, as we were saying, the conversation that we can have with the Onyx Combat is a very quick and simple one. In fact, it's not even an interface at all. We need only send information saying that you have been neutralized, dealt with, and they will no longer follow you, no longer track you, no longer trace you. Something that I can imagine would be rather lucrative to you.
I think we've just established that Kyle here has this hidden thread that despite what you tell the Onyx Compact, we're still not having any guarantee of without
Even if they stop tracking, they're still gonna find out about us when they hear about the next big thing we do.
Yes, with what we've been doing, with what we're going to continue to have to do, we're going to be noticed. People are going to find out about us, and we won't remain hidden for long. It might buy us a few days, weeks.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be helpful, it might be actually be helpful, but
There's no guarantee they'd stop tracking us either, is there?
Well, no, not technically.
I mean, if they were smart, they would take that information and continue tracking us, wasting what resources?
Talma looks at Ren. We should just tell them. Well, in all honesty, those are all very valid points. I can assure you that there will be a little bit more anonymity for a short period of time than you are giving us credit for. That still is on the table. Whether you help us or honestly whether you don't, I'm not particularly drawn either way. Talma kind of shifts like, my brother does not necessarily agree with my sentiment here, but I don't particularly hold any love for the Rivian people themselves. He kind of strikes back his black hair. His blue eyes kind of. Shows on his chin.
Mr. Good look.
But yeah, well, he's blue, but yes, he's very good looking. He's a striking gentleman with lots of natural charisma.
Very singular.
Very singular, striking.
Very
Beautiful.
single. I said.
And very single. You should ask him.
Not again. It's always happens.
One room, please.
One room.
When are we gonna get a romance?
I'm working on it.
What's
Yeah, you're right.
I'm working on it.
Everyone's watching.
Working on his 40
I
says.
don't believe it's wise that for the politics of this group particularly to give this this device that leads to all the resources and potential harms that might occur through the studying of draconic bloodlines. I think it might be somewhat detrimental to give it into the hands of the bad people mind.
For context, he's holding the sphere that you guys used to go to Elgaden's study.
I think Ren was about to tell us about something.
Correct. He
Did he?
said, let's tell them, and then he didn't tell us.
So what does that sphere of
Here's his eyes like. Well, despite my brother's misgivings, I have no reason to trust you whatsoever, which is wonderful, because I also have no reason to not trust you whatsoever. In all honesty, we're looking for a somewhat neutral third party with a penchant for, let's just say, less than savory work. We understood that you wouldn't really be interested in the monetary value, and in all honesty, it would be somewhat difficult to provide you with monetary sustainability in our given scenario or circumstances. However, what were you saying?
Am I back yet? I'm sorry.
No, this is
Yeah, that's what I think I.
this is before you've returned. So this
Thanks,
is
sorry. That's what I thought.
yeah, you're good. This Talma kind of comes in, pretty white cloak. The egg itself is that's my grounder. The egg itself is dangerous to have. Not just for anybody, but specifically for the patron who is receiving the egg. Let's just say that, and Ren kind of comes in, is our brother. Alsoraya has long has a standing tradition of dragon kinship and raising. But we are not the same house that we were. Long years and hard times have done little to retain the luster of that time. This egg could, and then Talma again pipes in, he says, this egg could mean the beginning of a war. Actually, it very likely harbinges war. Our brother is less than savory. I don't know why his accent keeps moving. I should just have given him the same accent. I'm sorry for everybody here.
It's okay.
I'm also nervous. Less than savory. The egg was not just discovered and found, it was stolen. It was taken. From a less than happy dragon. From what I hear. Honestly, we don't have a whole lot of the information, including we've been kind of kept out of the loop for obvious reasons. And we didn't really have any bargaining chips, so we gave what we could in order to convince you. We need your help. Our brother is unkind, harsh, vicious, and we cannot be seen resisting him. His voice kind of breaks. It's just like, you clearly see he's He's struggling with something.
Why?
Well, there are many reasons. He clearly doesn't want to talk about it. He kind of just looks off. Talma clears his throat, less affected by whatever Ren's discussing, but kind of protective of his brother, kind of scoots in. He says, understand that when this bastard gets his hands on the egg, he very much intends to revive the Song of Sorrows. And there's not really anything we can do to stop him. We could, short of killing him, which always is an option. Our idea was much more subtle, of course. This is Ren again. Some random group of adventurers, completely separate from anything that we had, right, would come in and take the egg, maybe in the night, and leave. Egg taken, problem, yes, maybe. However, not ours anymore. Completely, no traces pointed back to us. He could be furious, fuming, angry, hunt down whoever these people are to the best of their ability, but you seem very capable and well to handle yourselves. He gestures to the circle of dust that has been moved aside from the people bamfing. And he goes, and your exploits somewhat precede you. He kind of gives a knowing look at Talma. That's really the reason. And as far as the Onyx Compact, that is very true. If you were to return that, looks at the orb, that is what they are being able to track as far as we can tell. That's what they told us. And then whatever trace is connected to your friend here, which again, we don't touch much of the Phelan, but that is primarily bound to that. And if that were to return or somehow at least stay in our position for any given time, it could give you some anonymity, some freedom to move.
So we'd be taking the egg to prevent war, is basically what we're saying.
Yeah, put it lightly.
To prevent the Song of Sorrows from being unleashed.
And again, what is the Song of Sorrows?
That would be.
He kind of looks around at the empty tavern, but at the very clearly listening in innkeeper as he's just leaning against the counter, his ears craning. You almost see like his opening up, trying to listen in. He says, let's not discuss this here. If you're interested, we should go somewhere more private.
Would I know what the Song of Sorrows would be? Or
Ooh.
no idea?
That's a great question. Make a lore check.
15 plus 1. 16.
16?
Hold on.
Good.
My maths.
I would say, Daniel, Leflin has because of your past, has a spark of memory
Okay.
of this hidden tradition that's whispered among the houses, the 9 houses, before the Red Happening. Or excuse me, before the Red Death. Red Death. You can briefly recall some level of vitriol and hate coming from the Okrakeen house, specifically, towards this whispered secret tradition of some kind. As far as you can tell, it has something to do with dragons, the dragonkin. It has something to do with bending them in some way to their will or using them. You're not really sure about the details, but as far as you can recall that kind of just like flash of memory comes in.
Good question.
Yes.
Is he part of the Okrakeen house?
No.
Okay. Interesting.
That's just a good question to ask him. I shouldn't have answered.
That's fair. That's fair.
Classic metagame.
because coincidence it was.
At this point, also Durgan is still with you guys, just hanging out there,
Just chilling.
just chilling in
Slowly
low
down.
This is playing him accurately, probably.
Durg in, Durg out.
Yeah, Durgan's on his phone right now.
He's just like, oh my gosh, look what I saw, guys.
Oh, yes, guys, you should have this cool radio on your song.
He's just Providence.
It literally is, bro.
I don't do that. Wait.
No, you're just off in the corner doing your own thing.
Ocean Eaters actually do Chad's
I have like 5 things going on at the same time. That's totally.
That's valid.
You're not complete any of them.
Talma or Ren come. He's like, do you have anywhere more private to discuss this? You have rooms, I assume.
Yeah.
Oh, we should take that up here.
Alright.
Probably to inform.
Lead the way.
Follow me.
Okay. Orak, you lead the way. The innkeeper clearly looks a little disappointed as you guys walk by. He's kind of like, oh, okay, just as it was getting good. Like, and you guys make
Kill him, guys.
tumble your way.
He knows too much.
Tom cuts off his head. No, I'm kidding. He just starts the best boss fight of all time. The innkeeper.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Oh, so.
Is it like Leviathan threat detected? You guys walk your way up to the winding, something well-kept Bush-Abbey stairs, kind of creaking your way, all, whatever, 7 of you, I think, barring Davian.
Some number.
You guys go to and shut the door. It's odd because the demeanor that was somewhat cavalier and uncaring, nonchalant that was adopted by both Ren and Talma kind of evaporates. As each step they walk up towards this room, you kind of see that they become more rigid, more serious, more severe. And as the door opens and everybody's ushered inside, and a meditating Aramor with a sleeping Valeth, bound hand and foot, still somewhat battered and bloodied, is in front of her, or in front of them. Aramor kind of inclines his head a little bit. He goes, well, that's not what I expected. And as you guys all enter in, interesting enough, Ren and Talma don't even care about Valeth. It's like they expected or knew about her already. They're actually more surprised by the bloodied blindfold over Aramor's face, or Aramor's eyes. They're like, kind of see Talma like get down and wait in front of him. It's like, bloody interesting. And they look around. The door's finally shut. I might have already said that already. And there being no key, I'm assuming either somebody stands outside or we're just all here.
Put Durgan outside.
It's like a mop.
Sit here.
You know, we probably could put Aramor outside because he could probably he has keen enough senses where he could still hear through the door easily enough.
That's fair.
I think
He also doesn't know what we're talking about, so.
You can see some
Well, let's
guys.
see if Aramor's convinced.
Let's see some guys walking down the hall. This guy with one bloody blindfold is sitting there. Looks at him.
Aramor politely steps out, and you hear him kind of shuffle down on the other side of the door into a very well familiar meditative stance. Let's skip this again. This is...
yeah, this is not.
Is it our playlist?
No, it's not. This is just random. You didn't.
Is it because it's in dark mode?
No, you didn't.
Society.
You didn't put it in.
That's my fault.
You're good.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay. This time.
Talma and Ren turn to you. Talma kind of just takes Aramor's seat, and just kind of sits down. Sitting. Ren stands. That's what she says. Look, we can do very little with word of mouth. What we want to tell you about the Song of Sorrows could... no outsider has, to our knowledge, ever heard. So it is probably within our best interest to have some kind of an assurance that we can expect your aid in this matter.
I think hearing you back up.
Why are they just in shuffle play?
You don't know how to play Spotify game.
It should just be Ambience Lumen Society. It's playing. Yeah, that's right.
I think we've already passed these songs.
Yes.
It's like 5 songs.
Put it inside the.
Did you
D&D guys.
did you repeat
I
one?
think it's in shuffle right now.
I think it's
It's in shuffle now within our playlist, not.
Oh, cool. I clearly don't know how to operate
Yeah, you
Spotify. Sorry, everybody.
Ryan suggested.
oh
Because that's what they do that now.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
Just
you
like
can
add it to your
randomly,
playlist.
but if you click it again, it'll like
Add extra.
add songs to it.
I knew
well
that.
there's that, but also when you let it play through, you can turn the setting on where either it ends the so there's 2 settings, either it just ends, stops playing, or it keeps playing other songs. Unless you turn on the repeat thing. Not repeat 1, repeat all. That's so
Okay.
simple, guys.
There's a dictionary.
I don't want Spotify giving me music.
Right. We want to
Except
find
for
our own music.
I would have.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they give me stuff like Goblin Core music. And I was like,
Hey, that
We
they
know
gave
all
me
about
Goblin Core
that.
first. They gave
But
me
then I
Goblin
got
Core.
Goblin Core too.
Yeah.
I got
That's what I had.
Turkin. Truly a yes.
We're gonna make more, by the way.
Whose hand is this?
It's his, right? We
If you
can't-
guys want to know what we're talking about, go check out.
Yeah.
Go to my
check
YouTube
out.
channel, Samuel Husted Productions. You can watch this short where I made a fool of myself for
It's-
comedy.
It's 11 seconds long.
Yeah.
And it's
You know the
hilarious.
exact timestamp. That's hilarious.
Is it actually 11 seconds long? Oh, okay. I was just guessing. It seems like it's
you
11.
would-
I think it's more like
It's all
7
hilarious.
minutes.
7, 8
I
seconds.
think it's. I would guess 13.
I'm gonna split the difference. Okay. I'm gonna say 12. Okay.
No,
Well,
12.5 because
Well, actually, think about it.
you gotta count.
Well, actually, guys,
I could have got it.
No wait, listen. So
if you think about
I'm
it,
gonna
guys,
say 8 seconds. No, 9. 9
No,
seconds.
it's longer than that because I gotta do the little run. And then
Pretty
the
sure
little,
calculation.
I have to
I
wait
just
for him to
played it
take
in my head and I was like, okay.
I didn't do that.
Well, you
9
didn't,
seconds.
no, you didn't have me standing there for long.
Alright, guys.
I'm playing it in my head now too.
But the amount of time I was standing there.
I guess there was a pause before he runs out of the car.
Yeah, I was definitely standing there for a while.
And then after he runs back.
I think this is the most in-depth analysis anybody's had for that show.
For anything that's Samuel.
Aw.
No.
No, the grass and the Enigma definitely
Yeah.
brokered.
Oh, you remember the grass?
Bro, I do, unfortunately. No, it's
Grass
fantastic. Grass review.
review. I think it's my best video I've ever made.
Grass review?
Grass review.
I agree. I think it actually was. It's
I
just-
haven't even finished. I've only watched. You have only
It's
watched the.
fantastic.
We should do it, but it's like a restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where you're like,
Eating the grass.
So what is this?
I like that he was just like there.
Yeah,
And
it's
just
just in
eating
the
grass.
shop.
Hi guys.
Hi everybody.
actual restaurant.
Just
we go to an
munching.
actual restaurant, and we pay money.
No, but the
No,
pay
the
money.
government
No. Can't say some government.
That's definitely not my best video.
But that was super funny though.
Which one?
Yeah.
We just didn't do it well, but it was super funny.
Which one?
The
I think your best video is the award-winning short.
Enigma.
Closer than appeared.
Closer than appeared. Yeah, that I forgot the name. Closer than appeared.
It won awards.
No.
It's 1-1.
It did.
Oh, it did actually. Oh, I
Best
remember.
cinematography.
Wait, which
Yeah.
one's this?
Was it
Did-
They
I don't know
decided
how.
and Zab, they're like, ooh. That's what I did. I'm like, whoa,
Well,
that's-
no, it won best cinematography, and I've submitted it to some other film festivals, but we haven't heard back from them yet.
That's super cool.
We're hearing back from the next one May 1st, and then throughout the year there's some more. So-
Yeah, it's interesting because there's like the first shot is super
Better than you know.
Yeah, but once you get past the first shot, it's pretty good.
pretty good. I was like after that Reddit
Shade
comment,
bears.
I was like, oh, that's really interesting. You got some really good points.
Well, he didn't. Yeah, that Reddit comment was basically just everything that we thought about it,
Yeah,
which was
and then
really
that
funny.
YouTube comment.
What Reddit
Yeah.
comment?
Right. Basically,
Uh,
he just reviewed it and gave us some really good feedback.
Yeah, he was fantastic. I did not expect that from Reddit.
Yeah, same. I expected like, oh, actually, fusing.
All those.
If you're using a 25 millimeter
Sitting there,
web,
mom.
Why are we hitting on Reddit? There's a lot of really interesting information.
I made a comment there as well.
on the
People just
individual.
got like
You're
10
Redditor?
tags of Reddit stuff to put in his DMs. I saw a guy that was in the chat.
No.
No, not
does
Reddit.
Reddit for
On YouTube. I use
for-
it on YouTube.
That's actually all. Yeah, I don't actually even plan sessions. I just look up on Reddit like
He reads
good,
from
good
Reddit.
tabletop RPG.
Comments.
That's the only thing that happens in this game.
Yeah, it's
I'm not
He's
even
like, there
coming up
wasn't a
with-
Reddit comment for that. I don't know what to do.
Oh no! I'm just looking. I'm asking. I'm like having a live discussion with people about how should I respond to.
What is the song of sorrows?
Sorry. What is the song of sorrow? Taylor Swift song "Break Up." No, that's not what I wanted. Oh no.
The fact that you would know that song is a red flag.
I don't think
He's
that's.
actually Swiftie.
Joel's like,
That's not a Taylor Swift song.
Sorry, I guess.
Okay, what's sad? I don't. I know that that's not a Taylor Swift.
I don't think it is.
that sounds too.
Mason.
I love that.
You know what's funny?
We've all been talking for
If any kind of
10 minutes.
creative,
Not about
like if you ever come to a song or not song, if you ever come with a title for anything or a name, I always go and Google it because I don't know if that means something different or has like a different.
Yeah.
So I haven't done that for the Song of Sorrows, but it is
He just made it up.
Ellie King.
Ah.
2 hours later.
With that being said, we need some kind of assurance. Gestures to whoever's carrying the. Says that, at the very least, it's valuable to you, and I think that's something we need.
Why do you need assurance?
You.
What if we? Go ahead.
The assurance that this gives you is more than just an assurance. It's actually a tool. Especially with what you just relayed to us. I think it'd be now more than ever a very unwise thing to give to you.
Especially when you already have information on what this is.
Well, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what this leads to.
Calix says, well, in all honesty, we don't really know what it does. We know that the Onyx Compact wanted, and we know that the Rivian the Rivian government is backing the Onyx Compact because they want it. And that in itself is a tool. As far as anything else that you're disclosing, the actual nature of the item, other than the fact that the Onyx Compact somehow has interest that relates to and corresponds to the Thresdian government. And there's somehow, as far as I can tell, some Thresdian prince or lordling that is interested in that. And by proxy, it is a singularly interesting and politically powerful item to have. It doesn't require a grand history lesson to explain to you where the land of the people of the Nine are right now. We're scrabbling for scraps. Seafaring trade routes have essentially eliminated any kind of trade that we could have ever hoped to have had. We're a secondary thought to the majority of our allies who mostly just tolerate us.
And you want us to throw you a bone.
They want us to stop a war.
If that's not a bone to you, then it's not a trade. But yes, war. And I understand that it's taking our word for it ultimately, and we're desperate. We don't have very many alternatives. This came plopping in our lap, and we can't just turn away. So we hold a position of desperation, and we're trying to get the best we can out of it.
How would this hinder us, though? If it wouldn't hinder us and it would stop war, then
I
say it's for you.
I'm all for
I'll
starting
talk to
war.
you in private afterwards, but I don't think that the information I want to disclose would be wise in the current company. Clearly. That's why we want this object in the first. Please, if you could at least dissuade us or inform us more about the Song of Sorrows and why is that important?
Not without assurances. I can't.
Hurry.
That's
Will you
It might give
allow
you
us some
the
time to discuss amongst ourselves? Just a couple things.
Of course. Of course. Kind of stands up, he gets his things together. He looks back and he goes, please, remember that war does not just affect our own. It will affect everybody. From the tip of Arona to the end of Threstian. It won't be a war of flesh and blood. It's worse.
We understand.
I do have one more question. After we get the egg, what would we do with it? Just keep it?
He says, he looks like, well, ultimately that's up to you. As long as it is outside Aemon's hands, that's all that really matters to us. As long as he never gets his grubby little bastard hands on it. As far as we can tell, it deters war.
Whose egg is it?
How about you discuss amongst yourselves some more? And he looks at Talma. Talma just shakes his head. He goes,
Is this tied to the disturbances in Threstia? Disturbances of an awakened ancient.
he clearly has not heard of that. He's just like, what? No.
I think they're talking about something new that will happen as a cause of this brother of theirs getting his hands on this dragon egg.
I just want to be sure of its origins. I mean, a closer look. Where did you know where this egg was, where it traveled from?
He looks at Talma again.
This might have further implications, more than just this war that's bred in the Song of Sorrow, but something that could stir up potentially an ancient or a dragon long slept, because eggs aren't kept just willy-nilly around. They're not just found under a rock. They are protected dearly. By taking this egg, we might be sentencing ourselves for the pursuit and destruction of whatever this entity is.
You know, all I know is that it is. You look at Talma. Talma's like, no. He says, I have to. I'd like one of you to roll a d20, please. On
18.
18.
What was it for?
To see whether he's going to tell you. Talma he's like, no. Ren says, it's newly. It was newly given birth. It's a lonely female. Some 70 miles off the coast to the east. She's not a beast. She's a thinking, living, knowing creature. Thus, her offspring would be the same. Carrot. It's the only name we've heard her referred to by. Amon had been searching and digging and striving after any sniff of a dragon, draconic blood that was not bestial. And he received word from the Anarch that some people thought that Carrot was alone on some small, forgettable island, probably burrowed or hidden in some small, forgettable mountain.
Who could have stolen?
Amon had hired somebody.
So
He is he's dangerous, but he makes it his job to acquire dangerous or violent creatures. His name's Dagon. And Amon had originally, honestly, I'm not sure where he found him. You see a little flash of reticence to disclose more. But Dagon had been enlisted for a large sum of money. Talma kind of interjects and he says, Amon bankrupted our house for this. Basically sold everything to hire this guy.
So, if we do steal this egg, House Luray is left with absolutely nothing.
House Luray has already fallen.
Then why care about who takes this egg in the first place? Why does it have to be a third party?
Because if we, and then Ren again looks at Talma. Ren clearly more distraught. Talma says, because he has someone we love. Amon does. And he knows that we did something. She'll die. He's vicious. Sounds trite, but if we can, we're going to try to find a way to prevent that.
thank you.
And then they make their way outside, open the door. Aramore's already standing up in the way outside because he sensed them coming. Go
Why do you
downstairs.
think they're lying?
I never said I thought they were lying.
Aramore slips in to be in the conversation.
I think there is more to it though than meets the eye. A sentient dragon. We found if he was truly looking for a dragon that doesn't share as much beast blood. This has incalculable consequences, not just for potential war bred between nations, but also what that might mean with other sentient dragons. Once you disturb something like this, history has told us that it never ends. It never ends.
Well, it's too late for that. It's been disturbed.
Yes. That's why we should return the egg, I think.
I agree.
Yet, I'm deeply intrigued with what Amon sees what this Song of Sorrow is.
Why do they want?
Is this connected to
I believe
Prince Algaten? That's what I'm. It's Amon in league with Prince Algaten studying. Because this ultimately, I pick up that word, right? This ultimately holds the answers for Amon and for what? And for Prince Algaten.
Didn't we find books in there? We used that.
Yes.
In that tower we found books that detailed some of
the song-
what sounded like this.
Yes. Specifically on draconic hemocraft.
Hemocraft.
A few other things, but I am not fluent in it yet. I still need to work on my ciphering.
the Song of Sorrows, I believe, is a tradition from the Hassler, from Hassleria. That has to do with dragons. It
A tradition.
unless I'm mistaken, it bends the dragon. They somehow bend the dragon to their will. Is that what you said earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To the will.
To the best,
dragon
to the best of your knowledge, yeah.
Does it have to be a young dragon?
I'm unsure of the details. I just have a general idea of what.
And that leads to war.
With the dragon and their power, they would no longer be just the unnoticed
Maybe we're thinking about it
people.
wrong. Maybe this blood from the child gives connection to the mother. And they can, through that blood of the child, they can control the mother. Through a bond of some sort. This soul bond has to be very...
However, they did say it was.
Do you want to make? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Do you want to make a weave or a lore check for that?
Can the blood of the child be used to influence the...
Go ahead and make a weave check.
Okay.
We'll do that. Or let's do arcane history.
Okay.
You can call it arcane history.
That's... Okay, yeah. It's +4. It's 12.
12. Okay, so remembering Sarian's college, you have some recollection of a brief series of lectures on Hemocraft. Typically speaking, the soul of whatever you're trying to interact with is intimately linked with the blood of that thing. So you can't. Proxy links have to be done in a different way, not through hereditary. Yeah, so it's like, they have to physically have some element of my soul in order for there to be a proxy link made. That's not the case for offspring.
Okay.
There are certain entities that do shatter their souls and, literally give part of themselves to have an offspring, but that's not the case for draconic people. So, just to give you a little bit of clarity there, I didn't want you to
Do that a little bit.
Well, I mean,
How long does it take a dragon to grow to a mature age?
good question. You can make a lore check, yeah.
Okay. Oh. 7 total.
7. You're not sure how long the incubation period of a dragon is. The best you can think of is that it's long. It takes a long time.
The question is, how long would it be before they could use this dragon after it hatches to any great extent?
In the more near term, I'm more concerned with the wrath of the mother.
That's looking at the.
And they're holding the egg hostage to the mother.
Just a small question: how big is a dragon egg?
How big is a dragon egg?
Yeah, like how easy would it be to keep it and like?
Depends on the dragon. I mean, the simple question. The simple is depends on the
Yeah.
dragon. I won't have you make another roll. They vary in size. They can be as small as this, even smaller. So like dark drakes. So if you go to Underdwell, there's technically dragon kind that are, they lay hundreds of tiny little eggs. But as far as sentient dragons, their eggs, it kind of depends. But they can be upwards to 3 feet big. They can be really, really big.
So if this is a larger egg, it would be hard to just keep it. We couldn't just shove it in a bag and.
Yeah, we wouldn't be keeping it. We'd be giving it to them.
Which would mean we have to immediately, before we took it, find something
A way of
to
transportation.
do with it, a way of transportation and something to do with it.
I have a temporary way of transporting it, but I mean it's not a guarantee.
First, we need to decide our next course of action. What do we?
If the thing is, this is a poor assurance because this is a double-edged sword. If they give us, or if Aemon takes it from these brothers, it is a direct tie, the direct answer to possibly to this. And
Do we
information that Prince Algaden has stored? Maybe he's part of that.
I don't know if we're preventing.
What use do we have of this hold?
This is purely a leverage point, but also in the future we might be able to get some use out of it.
I'm afraid that by accepting the deal and giving this to them, the very thing we are attempting to prevent, we usher in sooner.
That's what I'm
Potentially. I'm
What
all
if-
for preventing war, but what if
We
we did not take into account? They briefly mentioned it. We would be we'd potentially be hunted.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's worth it if we're taken, if it's something we cannot handle. I think our deaths might be more detrimental than whatever potential war they're talking about.
we don't have to accept the deal on their terms. We don't give them this tool, this weapon,
do it.
but we steal the dragon egg back anyway.
Orphanus and Gornak, you were saying we should give the dragon egg back to the mother, which I don't disagree with, but how would we get it there safely
And how
without
would
being killed? How would the mother respond to a group of adventurers walking up with her?
Dragons are wise creatures, sentient dragons.
Why would we give?
But right now, I bet she's angry.
Well, if we show up with the thing she's lost, the thing she values most, front and center,
She would either wait to see what we did, or try and just.
this is
Yes,
no
and take-
common beast. This is
I
a
know.
smart, wise creature.
Smart and wise does not mean morally just.
doesn't.
She could just take care of us after we give her the egg.
And after losing a child, with how, I would imagine, with how full of wrath she probably is.
What do we
have
stand
no-
for? What is our purpose as a group?
I'm not saying we should do this.
Well, remember,
saying we-
we still are waiting on Davian and Waniin. We can't make a decision without him, because we still have to manage what happened with Davian.
We also need to ask.
Can't make a definitive decision without him.
We also need to ask if they know where the mother is right now. If she's still back at the same place, or if she's out searching for her egg. Because if we're being hunted while we have this egg,
How would we find her? Do they know?
Well, we know it's off the east coast, a small island. I mean, we could interrogate someone from there.
What about this
rank.
Airmore? What about this Dagon guy? He found it. Kill him. Or torture him till he told us.
You're right. That's probably the best course of action. If Dagon is truly well known, or at least
How capable do you think he is?
he's quite capable to face the dragon by himself.
That wasn't me saying he's not capable. That was me saying, do you think we can even? Do you think we're even in a position to be able to take him and
Especially
give
at-
us an answer?
I don't think we have to torture him. I think we have to either confront him in combat and kill him,
Do you
But
think
what
we
are our
could do
chances of that, especially seeing as how
it? Yeah, because
how much the cost was to hire
I think
him?
we can kill him. I think killing him is not going to be an issue. I think what the real issue would be is to what end.
What makes you think Dagan has any loyalty to?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't think I've heard of him at all.
If he's already been paid, I highly doubt he still has loyalty. He did the job to get paid and then left. That's what I believe.
right, but
That's
Hey.
it being
Oh, enough to put House L'Oreal.
Lorea.
Lorea, yeah.
Sorry. House L'Oreal into bankruptcy.
yes, but once he has the money, he has no tie to them unless he's paid more.
Oh, into. I think that's the terminology.
I probably said that.
Bankruptcy.
Wait, I have it written down. Yeah, you said bankrupt.
I said
But
bankrupt.
he has no tie to them. If he's just a man for hire, he has no loyalty to them. He has no tie to them unless they pay him more. Unless they have already paid him more.
Yeah, no, I believe it now. What did within my readings of I still have I think I have one book on hand from the I took a book from the place where the orb was.
Yeah, I did.
Good, yeah, I took a book from that, but that's besides the point.
That's what you were
During
reading.
my reading, has the name Carrot or has that name rung anything in my ears? Is that like completely new to me? Is that
I would say in your reading, if I remember correctly, your book was specifically on Draconic Chemocraft, correct? That's what the original questions were.
Yeah, I think.
So
one.
I would say that it wouldn't be addressing specific dragons of any kind.
Okay.
And then secondly, I'd say that any kind of a draconic bestiary, as it were, or a family tree bloodline tracker, probably wouldn't. As far as you can tell, that's not a thing. Like people haven't been able to record because when dragons have eggs, I mean they're extremely. This is something you would know. Extremely territorial, extremely vicious to their own kind, typically speaking. So if it's not their own offspring, they would tend to eradicate, oppose, destroy. Specifically post-torrent. So it's private. It's very much a private occasion. That's why you have, things like the Red Death can happen. It's because people don't know. These aren't like, trouncing around the countryside or even getting gold. Going back into their hoard. No. They're quiet. They're secretive. They find, peace and seclusion, and they find respite in other activities. They're very much secretive creatures for the most part. Now there are some, like Atatrax, who break tradition, but they tend to keep them themselves, especially because of their rarity.
we're gonna have to decide something.
Well, we have to wait until Davian is back.
Is that the general consensus that we're going to wait till?
The question is,
But the most moral and safest course of action, from my perspective, is we keep the sphere, but we also do our best to prevent this war by rescuing the dragon egg and, if possible, giving it back to its mother. However,
Aramore kind of just shifts a little bit. Aramore says, "Why don't we just ignore it? Why do we have to do this? Our job is not to stop every war, fix every problem. I still think that we're going to stop this goated Dagon. Torture the guy, figure out where she is, whatever.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We'll figure out the details.
But, come on. Why are we doing this in the first place? I mean, And then Vela at this point has stirred and kind of like her eyes are open. She's listening, but she's obviously very sore from being tied, and you know she's probably rubbed her wrists raw and bloodied somewhat. She's like, Torin is a real threat. Why do you waste your time on every other threat that comes knocking at your door?
The thing is, if this would truly stop a war.
She's right.
Wait, hear me out. If it would truly stop a war, and we are able to do it in little time, and then put the egg somewhere safe, somewhere we know is safe.
Do we know? And I don't think it's as easy as you're making it sound.
Whatever we decide, it won't be an easy decision.
All I'm saying is we don't owe it to these guys at all.
We don't owe it to them.
We're not
But-
doing it for them. We would be doing it for
It wouldn't. They were right when they said it wouldn't just affect them if there was a war.
the.
Of course, it wouldn't just.
It would affect everybody.
Like I
It would
said.
affect us. It would throw everything into turmoil. Might arouse the queen and the Underdark. Who knows?
Proposition. If House Lurea is truly bankrupt, and the incubation period for a dragon egg, much less dragon maturity, is a very long time, then the timeline for this war could be very long. Now, we don't know what the mother will do, and that's the main problem that I see at the moment.
But would it be easier to stop it now? Or to try and stop it when they already have their hands on the egg? And possibly on dragon once it hatches?
My main concern is not with a broken house that cannot pay its own employees, its own members. My main concern is with a sentient dragon who's lost a child.
And that could solve this as well.
The destruction that a dragon can cause, much less a sentient dragon.
We already know the destruction dragon can cause is significant. It's great. It's what threw the land and people of the Nine to the situation they're in right now.
That's my point. I'm agreeing with you.
Yes.
What's happening in the Dank? There's already a war on the front. There's another war brewing.
There's war brewing everywhere, on every front.
Do you think it's odd? I've been thinking about this a good bit. Why were the Dank there? Of all places. The west coast of Rivio. Doesn't make any sense. In the brutal wasteland.
What if we use the dragon egg as bait
Or
a bargaining chip.
for the mother dragon?
we're not going to use it as a bargaining chip unless it's for the mother dragon. We can't use it with, because whoever controls the dragon controls the power, controls the fear,
Right.
controls everything.
Yes.
And so if we give it away for a bargain, whoever controls that egg has the power. They control the mother.
If we have it, we have the power, which means we can make assurances for things.
First things first. Let's help Duggan. Let's get this deal done. Let's complete our end of the deal as we saw him.
The only problem with that is we have a limited time to deal with this problem.
All of our problems have limited time.
Everything is limited time. That's not a necessary issue, especially Duggan.
Question now is, do we have more time for... Does Durgan have more time? Or
The
does
question
Sasha have
is
time?
who we are.
Yes, very good question. What?
Do we hold fealty more to our friends, to each other, or
No.
to Rivia, to the world,
To everything.
to everything?
These people cannot take the wrath of another dragon.
But if we
We've already
don't,
we've already seen what the wrath of a dragon can do. It throws everything into turmoil.
if we
can't
don't
stand the wrath.
stand by each other, how can we trust ourselves to stand by the world?
Maybe this is.
I'm not saying we abandon.
Maybe this is exactly what they want.
Let's
Maybe Previa is trying to take the egg to unify once again the council and the government to solidify their reign, ultimately validating the power of the council. This might be another ploy for
just
political.
occurred. Do we know where Tor is?
No.
Do we know if he
We
wants this egg?
He might not even know.
Because if he wants it and knows about it, he has the power to get it.
He wants the
And
tails.
we are the only ones who have much of a
Right.
chance to stop him.
Kind of her breath kind of catches.
Do you know if Torin knows about this?
Make a persuasion check.
What's your charisma?
I should do it.
I'm not worried.
I don't have charisma.
Samuel God's bonus.
-3.
Hey, baby. You guys realize that this is the 4th session we've been in this
I know.
building
I know.
talking.
Still got a 2.
2.
Is it 2?
You guys are all fluent in Japanese.
Tell me about it.
She kind of just, she's like, he's interested in all kinds of things. I didn't know every single last one. Kind of like, chin out, a little bit of resistance.
He had interest in the Chain King. If he has the power to control it,
Once again.
if he thinks he has the possibility of power to control the dragon, then he will go for it. He will try to take this egg.
At this point, you guys all hear downstairs. You hear a panting Davian.
Must be Davian and Waniin.
And then you also hear. Sorry, I'm sorry not to laugh. You also briefly hear. Actually, Aramore's here to have him perception. Who has the highest passive notice other than Davian?
We have 3.
+4.
Plus Kyle, would you mind making a notice check, please?
I have 2.
That would explain it. No.
19.
19.
Whoa.
You notice 2 things. One, you obviously, or yeah, there's 3 things. One, you hear the sound of what you assume to be Waniin and Davian returning, the clear sound of vamping that are pretty common to you. 2, you hear what seems to be like some similar kind of a sound out in the street. It's more faint, but it's like. And 3, you sense this very odd, kind of like a wave that kind of emanates from whatever happened in the street. And it only takes about 5 seconds, but as you look towards what you imagine where the direction of Davian and Waniin are, it's like there's this weird shimmering going on, like almost in kind of like a curving orbital pattern, kind of in the air. In that kind of almost like taking the corner of the room, like the bottom corner of the room, you see this little, and it kind of disappears through the floor. And you, would you actually make a weave check, please?
Yes, absolutely. And is Waniin's anti-weave field still?
It's gone.
It's gone. Okay.
Yeah, when he left, it left.
Yeah, he was in there for.
Weave check.
Yes.
That is a 25.
25.
Nice.
You don't notice everything that Joel noticed. You just hear the sound of Davian and Waniin returning. And instead of seeing the shimmer, or really what almost feels like you can like feel the vibrations in your mind as you see it, there's this aura, this heavy, hefty aura that just kind of in the back of your mind starts tugging. It's really odd. Not something that's normally there.
Is it familiar?
Make a, well.
25.
You're right, it's a 25. You can't identify the precise source, but it's something that sensation is something you've experienced before.
Gotcha.
You can't tell exactly what's causing it, but it's something that you know is causing it.
Say, we're not alone. I cast arcane protection on myself.
What level is arcane protection?
It's a cantrip.
It's a cantrip. Can you roll a d20, please?
Yes.
Please beat a 17.
I did not. I rolled.
As you cast arcane protection, was it verbal? Is it semantic? Or is it?
It is. I
Just-
just with my hand and I got.
Is it just on yourself, or
Yeah, just on myself.
you do it? There's this little, as it starts forming around you, it retracts and goes away.
Okay.
But you don't sense that there was a counter thread cast.
Have I experienced this before? This kind of.
It feels like when you did it, like you had access to the Phelan, but when you did it, it's like almost something is taking the threads of the Phelan energy and scattering them. But not like a counter thread that just cuts you off immediately and that kind of trips you as you're working through it. It's like it's carefully unwinding them, like directing them away from each of themselves, taking them apart. And it feels like it's because where you are. You get that just odd sense, like as you reach out, it's because of where you are right now.
At this point,
Yes.
I look around downstairs and see no one's there.
Okay.
I remember the airborne Vela threw upstairs last time I checked.
As you are looking around, you see. I'm gonna stand up. Is that okay? Oh, I don't want to block. Stay down.
I can see
You kind of looking around. I'm assuming. In the street, there's this kind of a shimmer, and then rips open like kind of like a band, but different. Like the entire the air kind of tears apart, and this figure, very handsome, very clean shaven, with nice cropped blonde hair, really piercing blue eyes, with these gray flowing robes with white embroidery and kind of an elegant stance, steps out onto the dusty street of Basikaal. As it kind of holds.
Wait,
goes away.
are Talma and Ren down here?
Talma and Ren are on the stair, at the base of the stairs, and they see you apparate, and they kind of, what's going on? And then they also look out and they see, Talma like, is he with you?
No.
And
Where are they? Where's everyone?
immediately they both draw their swords and they're ready. They're like, upstairs.
Grab.
The figure you see as in one hand, in his right hand, he carries this very elegant, very kind of almost plain wooden stick that kind of comes to a little bit of a point. And it's got a little raised ridge around it. Just upon a slight glance, there's a little like glowing, what seems to be kind of purple lettering that kind of is glowing around that. And then in his left hand is this weird, heavy black object that kind of dangling. And your brain doesn't really calculate it at first because you're not looking for something like it. But as you kind of just take him in, you're like, that's a key. What would you like to do?
Go together.
What would you like to do?
I'm thinking.
Run away.
Run the damn way.
Go to some random
That's-
tree in
It's
the.
also an option.
That's an option if you'd like to.
No, I'm thinking, guys.
I'm gonna, for the sake of viewers and everybody else, Talma and Ren are like getting into this very odd stance, and they're going almost back to back, but not quite. Where they're kind of at an angle. They're both bringing their swords up, and it's all slow mo as they're making their way out towards the street, towards whatever, or towards the door, almost like in kind of a defensive, a kind of aggressive poise, as they're making their way towards whoever this is. After you said, "Not with me."
And I'm gonna. Is it okay if I
You
grab
don't
my?
know.
You don't know. You
I
don't.
I just said if there's
Did say.
someone
And then he, like,
I said
put up his wall.
Davian. I
Said
said
we're not
Davian's are downstairs, and I said some. I think Davian.
And then he said, "Well,
The recording's gonna tell all truths.
Yes. And then I said there's someone else here, and I was
Someone else here.
Yeah,
And that's when you try to play cast arcane protection.
And when I do that, I look around like I know that Waniin anti
It's gone. You
it's
knew it
not
was
here,
gone.
and this is not that.
You actually could sense this is immediately after he left. And notice also, I should mention for clarity's sake, the strange shimmering is not in the room. It's not enveloping everybody in the room. It's just he sees just the edge of that strange shimmering that's coming out through like the corner, like the baseboard corner of the room. That's nearest the entrance and nearest the street, exactly. But that's not the same thing that is causing whatever it is.
Can I grab my bow and like?
As soon as you said, you're just. Before you're going downstairs, he needs to make a decision. This is all slow-mo happening, I'm gonna say, in you have like 10 seconds where Talma and Ren are they're drawing their swords and kind of like making their way through the door, and this figure is just very, very calmly, very gracefully, just kind of looking around.
I'm gonna go out the door with Talma and Ren.
You're gonna exit into the street?
Yep.
I'm just gonna get out a suspend advantage. First thing, just hold it.
Okay. So you walk out into the street.
Is Waniin with him? Did he come with him?
Give me a second.
Do I hear the door open when or do I hear Mike leave? At least from downstairs.
Make a notice check.
Again. 19
again. Wow. Yeah, I'd say you hear like the shuffling of like boots as which you assume is Waniin, Davian, and the two other pairs make their way out into the street.
It was 18. It was 18.
Okay, that's fine. I'd say you still hit.
After Leflin runs out the door,
Yeah, so
I look around at everyone, shrug, pull my swords, and follow him.
just show Gordon how to beat himself.
You see them are, listen to me, as you pull them out, that very soft blue light is emanating off their edges, which you've become so accustomed to.
Is there a window up here?
There is, yeah, there's a window opposite the opposite street. I should
look
probably...
out at the guy.
You don't see the guy. I should show you what you guys are looking at.
Okay.
As soon as you see me say that and then try to quick cast Arcane Protection, you could see like on my face like an irritation and annoyance.
We know something's wrong with something's irritating.
No, you can see a semi. Usually, you guys can see like a semi transient bluish energy field
If you have
close around me.
If you haven't noticed the +4, then you
Yes. But when I tried to do that, it looked like I was just like joking around or something because I obviously it didn't work.
I would put the mat on the table, but we're not there yet. And I'm not sure how that's all going to work out. Logistically, we might move this and just put it here and then put the mat here.
Yeah.
But we'll see that later. Okay, so just for now, I should probably show you kind of what you guys are looking at, or at least what to expect, okay? This is the street. For the sake of all the viewers, I'm so sorry. This is the street, okay? This is the inn that you guys are in, okay? A little box, let's just say. Yeah, to all of us. This is literally just us up here. This is where your guys' room is, right here. This is where some of the rooms are. This is not to scale, obviously. This is the stairs that lead up, right here, right? This is the main area, right here, right? And then you have like the bar or whatever, and then the kitchen, whatever else is back here, okay? So you guys are in this room right here with the door on this little landing area, or what, like a hallway, right? All the different rooms, right?
I was seeing it in this corner.
So you were seeing it actually right here,
Right.
in that very far corner that's nearest to the downstairs where all the tables are and everything.
Then I would go to the next room, but I can do that.
So, there's windows here into an alley, like right here. So there's windows that look out this direction.
Okay.
But this is also another room right here. So, does that make sense?
How high up are we?
You guys are a story up, so what is that, 12?
Yeah.
15, 12 feet? 12, 15 feet.
Does it hurt? Jump down?
Does it hurt to jump down 12, 15 feet? You can certainly try. Maybe. You don't know.
We're hardly human. It won't hurt.
But I'm going back to Davian real quick, and we will resolve kind of these things simultaneously, because I'm giving kind of this grace period of time in order to resolve these questions. Davian, you said you're going out, Leflin?
I'm running downstairs and following.
You're opening the door and.
Well, no, he said he was going out. I'm not walking.
Well, I'm saying down the stairs.
Oh yeah.
Into the main room.
Yeah, with the arrow.
So as you let's say there's like a 5-second lag between you doing that and you guys hearing the door open, meaning they were outside for 5 seconds. So let's resolve that first. So, Davian, as you make your way out. And he, you know, the kind of softly imperious. It appears very gentle. It's really not something that you've grown accustomed to. Even when you were discussing things with the Inquisitor on Milladine, on the Isle of Milladine, there was, you know, that level of haughtiness and overseeing and, you know, downtrodden, and you don't get any of that from this figure. And it's kind of comforting. He regards both of you, and you see he takes what you now identify as his wand, and he kind of pushes it back up his sleeve. Oh, he says, there you are.
Who are you? And where's Waniin?
I was like, Waniin? Who's that?
Who are you?
He looks around again. You can see he's looking for something. Like he knows something is here, but he doesn't know what it is. So he's looking around and says, I am a representative of the Phelan High Council, sir. That is all. And Waniin, who is this? Waniin.
What are you doing here?
He takes a step forward towards you. He says, doing? You notice something very odd. Because although you and him are talking in a very normal conversation, and he even has put his wand away, the two brothers who were just a second ago, you know, making their way hurriedly out into the street, are stuck still, unmoving. So you look around, what was a kind of a windswept street where dust would moat and blow away, and you know, the things would be, you notice there's nothing moving at all, except for you and whoever this is. And I'd like you to make a notice check real quick.
That is a 17.
17?
Pretty high, guys.
You see that he's gripping the key with like this intense fervor, and you know, like he's moving his fingers methodically on the key signet, or the very simple brass band that holds the key, in a very repetitive pattern. It's not it's kind of it's you know, hidden and subdued. He says, I'm sorry, what was your question?
What are you doing here?
I'm following you.
Why?
Jason, let's step forward. He says, well, you just bamfed outside of jurisdiction, and that was somewhat concerning. The ways have not been used for millennia, and all of a sudden we see we've recorded a rather surprising rise in usage of them, and we're just making sure that everything is safe.
Out of curiosity, is this the same voice from the guy I heard back in the house?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
What did you do to Waniin?
Who is this Waniin?
You know who Waniin is.
He looks genuinely confused. He's like, I can honestly tell you, sir, I don't know who this Waniin is.
Is he lying?
Make a.
You said his name, alright, I'm not. What do you need to roll?
Nah.
I know you're in there. Let me use my key.
You're like, Waniin, don't make me use my key.
Waniin.
I don't know why I'm rolling, but I got a natural 19, so.
That's just 19, man.
What was that roll?
I would say notice. I don't want to just beat a dead horse with notice. This is where our new system would come in
Oh.
so well. Because we'd actually have variability. I know.
I think this is acrobatics based.
Yeah, sure. I can't wait till the new system rolls out.
Okay, so I rolled a 19
By the way,
with
there's
notice.
just
21.
Yeah, they know.
21 with notice.
21? Okay, well. He seems not to be. He rolled really well too. Genuinely, he seemed not to be lying to you. He seemed to be withholding something, but he doesn't seem to be bald-faced lying to you. When he's asking who is Waniin, he's not saying, I don't know this Waniin.
Who do I know who he is?
That seems to be kind of an independent question there. And it's odd, because at first, it definitely felt like you had a sense like, he's lying. He knows who this guy is. He's trying to deceive me. But as you're talking to him, that fades away. And you kind of start to not agree with him, but you feel that he's more trustworthy. And then he's like, okay, he's just asking me a question. Really, who is this Waniin to me? And you genuinely feel those feelings. It's not like it's fabricated in you and you're resisting it. It's like, oh, okay, I genuinely feel these feelings. He's like, I'm sorry. I don't mean to alarm you. This is just a matter of formality for your and my safety. And he kind of walks towards you another step. He says, I don't mean any harm to your friends. They seem gentle enough. He kind of laughs, barring the swords, of course.
At this point, can I step right outside the door? Just like...
Yeah, sure. So you've made your way down the stairs, and
So we're not frozen in time.
no, you guys
It's
are
only within that.
you guys are moving freely.
I would like to do something in that time, but you go first.
Cool. Let's finish him real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
You see, Talma and Ren, for whatever reason, are just like stopped in the doorway, and you can see that the two strangers, or not two strangers, you see that there's no Waniin, and that there's this stranger, and described as I've described it earlier, and Davian, just in the street.
Do I recognize this guy?
No, you've never seen this gentleman before. But Talma and Ren are like frozen almost in the door. It's really odd. Their eyes aren't moving, nothing. They're frozen. But at the moment, you can move freely.
I'm gonna push past them.
You're gonna try to push past them?
Yeah.
Cool. So your bow in hand, you kind of, as you enter through the doorway and get parallel to them, you feel this odd like sensation that your will, like, how do I describe this? It's not like you are aware of what's happening now. As far as you can tell, you're still in the present. Nothing's slowed down for you. The thought that you were thinking when you entered, whatever this is still going to be the thought that you're going to be thinking when you're out of it. So you don't feel like, I'm slowing down. Oh my goodness, I want to do this thing. No. You're just there. You're frozen inside. It's literally suspended.
I will roll will for against that.
You like resist it. You have no your brain hasn't consciously detected it.
That would be noticing them going a lot faster, right?
No. You don't have any notice right now.
It's like time is skipped for you. Like
Yeah, when you come out of this,
It's like a blackout.
you will literally have no recollection of ever being stopped.
Okay, so I can't fight against it.
Well, yeah, because there's nothing to you're not aware that
Yeah.
there's anything to resist yet.
That's a good idea.
So you're getting ideas from
Never
them.
coach that does that now.
Jeez.
Before we go back to the conversation, what are you doing?
I'm gonna pick up the orb,
Okay.
knowing something, and I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna prepare a thread and go into it.
You're gonna enter the orb by yourself?
By myself. I'm gonna prepare a thread and walk.
What thread are you preparing?
I'm gonna prepare Rend.
You're gonna prepare Rend? And just go into the orb? Okay.
What does Ren do?
Durgan's dying, sick of
roll
stairs.
a d20 for me, Seth.
Talk about some strange
And I'll say
The
this.
stick.
I'll say this. If you roll a 10 or lower, you're gonna enter into the study as you've seen it before. Like empty, like you normally have seen it.
Yeah.
If it's an 11 or higher, something else will be happening.
Okay. Natural 20.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, cool.
What a time to use it, Seth.
I know. Unless that's a success or whatever. Probably not.
Here's my
Why is he rolling for
a
natural
bunch of
20?
extra potions on the ground.
Cool.
Nice.
It's not just gonna be a
Bunch of necros pop in front
I
of
just
you.
killed a spider. Just found a couple gold right there.
D&D.
Actually. You step on a spider and you'll spend your foot correct 3
Gold.
gold.
Everything that dies just turns into gold.
So, Orphanus. This is gonna be really complicated. This is gonna start getting really complicated.
Guys.
You've prepared Rend. As you touch the orb and you enter into the orb, and the orb floats there like it had whenever you had previously entered there. You gave no warning to any of your compatriots, right?
No.
You're just gone. As far as you can tell, Orphanus was there. Now he's gone. The orb's floating. As you enter into the study, you apparate, right? Something immediately odd catches your eye. At first, it's kind of like confusing, like a puzzle. You see a bunch of different things floating around. But as you start putting the pieces together, it kind of leads you down this little rabbit trail. You see a book out of place, opened. You see a quill pen in a smattering of red ink that was presumably being used not too long ago. You see a large, heavy-looking, almost winter preparation cloak that's draped over a high-backed armchair, one of the many high-backed armchairs. You see what looks to be these two fur-lined, gold-gilded boots that have been taken off and are just sitting next to the chair that the jacket is on. As you walk, like kind of wash your eyes over, it comes to the back of a hunched over, smaller, say roughly like 5 foot, 5'6", 5'7", gray-haired man. He's been dejacketed, de-shoed. His sleeves are rolled up. You see smears of red ink on his forearm. His back is turned towards you, but he's hunched over, kind of thumbing through a large tome, and he hasn't recognized or realized that you're present there yet. He's in there. Ren is still prepared.
Yes.
And I should reorient you to you are aware of the
Font.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I think so. You could probably remind me
Yes, you have the spiraling bookshelves that ascend into strange heights, right? You have the strange lift, and then to that font that was what originally tipped you off to. I need to go find my notes to give you a perfectly accurate depiction because I'm kind of going after memory.
No, you're good.
And if I'm not mistaken, you also have that window, that bay window that kind of extends the very far end with all the beautiful latticing on it. That gives you go ahead.
Is it broken, or was last broken?
No, it's not. It's been repaired.
Okay.
If you want to make a further investigation, you can. But where it was broken, where you had seen through,
it's not.
It's not. If I'm not mistaken, as well, it's that the stained glass, right? That is.
It's a depiction of a dragon.
Yeah, it's a depiction of the dragon.
Could this be a temporal trap, to my knowledge?
A temporal trap.
Yeah, so it's like opens up to a pocket dimension that has.
That's a very big leap from just maybe not. But you need more information.
For sure.
We're gonna take a step back from you and go back to Davian as the stranger walks forward. Says, "Who is this woman?" He's actually he's going to cast a thread, and you're gonna notice that he's casting it. He's not trying to hide it from you at all. He's just gonna wave his hand. He's gonna bring his wand back into his hand and go. Over your mind.
And use this for the first time today. I have 2 uses.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to. I have to guess within 2 slots of the.
Do you want to hear a little bit more about the description before?
Oh yeah, if there's more to hear, then yes.
Okay, cool. It's not just that he's doing it.
Okay.
As he does this, it's like this this little white tendril kind of snakes out. It's almost like a spider silk kind of starts going towards your mind.
Yeah, I'm definitely guessing. I'm guessing it's gonna be.
You have to be within how many?
Two
You have to be within 2 slots.
I'm gonna say 4.
4th level.
6 through, or excuse me.
2 through
6.
2 through 6. As you raise your hand to just cast it aside, and as you do so, the ring kind of glows a little red, and the thread dissipates. And he's a little confused. Notably, his ring worked. Just for a note for you. He'll look surprised, but he's not like angry or upset.
Ring worked, but.
His counter thread ring,
Yes.
did work, where your arcane shielding did not.
Yes.
Cool.
And I'm assuming that's also why I could travel through
Yes.
ice.
What do you want?
And he's just like, really just to talk. And he just plops down like in a little triangle. What am I talking about? Crisscross applesauce. You know, he sits down, and he's still holding that key. He kind of puts it on his forearm right here. Keeps on that same methodical pattern. And he says, "Who is Waniin to you?" You notice that he added the "to you." His eyes just looking to you. I really don't want to have to use anything that is invasive or problematic. This is just pure inquiry. This is for the betterment of Bamfing travel. And we are really just trying to ensure that everything is safe, protected, and preserved.
He's just a tool. We used him to bamf here and there.
He's like kind of confused. He's just a tool?
That's right. A means to the end.
Yeah. It's like, God. So who are you then? You bamfed many times with him?
Once.
Once? Where from? Why? It's just, where from? Was it you at Nephilis? Or was it somebody else?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Just a question. I'm not trying to be invasive. If that makes no sense, then that is okay. I'm merely crossing it off a list. So it was not you at Nephilis as far as you can tell?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, that's fine. On the borders of Onselin, perhaps? Maybe?
What are you
Was that
talking
you?
about?
No? Okay. Understood. I don't mean to be invasive. These are merely procedural questions. What was that?
Is it Nephilis or Nephilim?
Nothing
'Cause I think
left.
that
You're right.
is the name.
Nephilim Laboratory. Nephilis is the in between.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. I
No,
confused
just
you.
you're
They're
good.
similar.
I
but
was
they're
wondering
different.
if my notes were wrong.
No, you're good. So not outside of Onselin, not Nephilim. Was it you then, Gwydir, perhaps?
Look, I don't know what you're
Western
about.
End.
I used the Bamfing ring once with Waniin to go to wherever it was we were.
Understood. I apologize. See, he's still stroking
I'm
them.
still holding my chakrams.
Okay. I really don't mean to be threatening. These are truly just procedural questions. I am, as you say, maybe a neutral ambassador to stand between you and perhaps whatever other entities may be opposed to the use of unregistered items. Kind of just, like, I understand.
I pop down quick, got some stuff in the red as well. If you want to talk, I'll talk to you.
I do. And he looks at you, and he's actually going to try to cast something else.
Okay.
And he's going to pull out his wand again, just really quickly. This time there's no trend roll. It's just a little, a light blue kind of on the tip of his, kind of a casually held wand. Here.
Not gonna do it.
Make a will saving throw, please. DC 17.
Crappy will. Yeah, no, it's 8.
8, okay.
Wait, we have corporates.
Yes, we do. I didn't give you your refresh.
I still have one.
You want to re-roll it?
Yeah, I'm gonna split it.
Oh man, I should have used that.
I'm sorry, I didn't give you guys your refresh.
It's okay.
Still fail.
Still fail? It's nothing super crazy. It's just you must tell the truth on your whatever you're about to say next. You have to tell the truth. And the effect lasts for 60 seconds. It's not incredibly invasive or terrible. It's like a warm, nice envelopment on your mind that you not only feel that you need to trust him, but also that he's a person of some authority that requires your answers. His face kind of doesn't harden, it just kind of drops. It's as he sees that it worked and it kind of set in, it drops some of the clearly ambassadorial pleasantness that it held previously. He looks at you, and you're aware of that, but it doesn't really matter to you at the moment. He says, okay, so not Nephilim then, not Onselin, not Gwydir, but it was you with Waniin, correct?
It was.
And who is Waniin to you? I should clarify before you answer. You are not required to give an exhaustive answer, and not the whole truth. But if it is a yes or no answer, You have to say yes or no. I need to make sure actually I read the details of the thing. Hold on, I need to pull it up because I'm going off of memory.
Out of curiosity, again, so I know it's just a little bit, I have to tell the truth, but my will towards him is not in any way changed other than that. So
No, yeah, you don't. You can still have. You could, of your own volition, you can say whatever you want still. You aren't required to be pleasant to him, or
Okay,
kind to him, or not. But when he's inquiring or asking questions, you have that strange warm feeling of, oh yeah, he's a person before I provide him with answers. And it's just 60 seconds, so it's not that long. I'm not gonna put a timer on, but we'll we'll keep it in our mind. It won't be too long. If you feel like it's going too long, then I'll give you the authority to say so.
5 seconds. It's been too long.
For parity's sake, because I feel like that's
So it's been
unfair
like
for me to
50
demand of you.
seconds, so it's another
So
10
hold on. He says, so it was you with Waniin,
It was.
and is he just used for a tool?
Trying to figure out how to respond. We use him for his bamfing ring and for his knowledge.
Was he just used for a tool? Yes or no? Same gentle, kind tone.
No.
Is that ring, the bamfing ring, is that ring from Waniin? Yes or no?
Yes.
Did he know who I am? Yes or no?
Yes. Do I have to answer every time?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know who I am? Yes or no?
No.
Have you... Oh, I gotta think about this actually.
Oh, more time for me, I guess. He's thinking about it. He said so.
Yeah, I can think for a while.
I'll say he can ask one more question and we'll call it time up. Just gotta think of what question I want to ask you.
What's your deepest, darkest?
No.
No.
Do you or anyone in your group possess the Phelan stones? Yes or no?
Yes.
He goes away. And you know you said that. You gotta... It's back in here.
Stand up.
He's not even looking at you. Just like, got this soft concern on his face.
Question.
Yes.
Because we don't own all. Because we don't hold all of them. Could he have answered no?
No, he said any. He said
any.
No, he said, do you possess
Said
the Phelan?
any.
Did not say any.
He
I don't
didn't
He didn't say
He didn't
it.
say
He said the
Do you
Phelan
or any of your
Stones.
group
Simon!
possess the Phelan stones?
Simon!
Do you
So-
or any of your group possess the Phelan stones?
To answer your question, no. Sure.
I
Yeah.
could have said
Simon, darn
Probably.
you!
And if you had justified it like that to me, I probably would
Wait,
have accepted that.
I didn't even understand justification. What do you mean?
He said, do you, we don't possess all of them.
Stones.
He said, do you possess the
It's
Phelan
not
Your true lawyer, your true lawyer would have had to have come out.
Guys,
Simon-
Davian's not very smart.
Simon! As soon as he said that, I was
You
like,
could
wait.
say it's the thread trying to prompt the truth out of you.
Yeah!
That's fair. That's
You know
fair.
what? Rick.
So he stops.
Okay.
He just a slight concern on his face. He goes, It's unfortunate.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Your face is
I'm grabbing my smoke potion out. I'm gonna throw it on the ground. I'm gonna jump out of the shielding.
That's so funny. You just
You can't see me. Okay.
You just like say the most important secret and then just like.
It's just like the
I'm not done. I'm
true
not done.
turtle moment. It's just like feels danger.
I leave and you guys start like, shooting up.
No, dude.
I bet you guys are hitting on blondes, huh?
Honey,
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay.
honey.
Is that what you want to do?
Come on, go. Yeah, I am.
He's like, well,
You're
now that
answer-
you made fun of me, no.
No, I am. And
He's not even going to react. He's just going to keep on doing the pattern
But through-
on the key.
okay, through the smoke, I'm throwing my shackle at him.
So you're staying inside whatever it is, right?
I said, oh wait.
You're leaving or you're
Don't
staying?
leave. So you leave, you stop your functionality.
Yeah. So I'm throwing the smoke potion at his like in front of him, and I'm throwing my shack at him.
Okay, so first the smoke potion, which is an action. So we're gonna go ahead and roll initiative. What? We're gonna roll initiative because you're taking an action against him.
No idea how powerful this.
Yeah, powerful. You know.
He has it's a 14.
Oh, I totally did that one.
14
I
plus.
easily. Can I have my core points?
Yes, actually, I probably
I have 4 now. And I am gonna reroll, so just give me 3.
give you 3. You're rerolling initiative.
Why? Got a 6. 16.
6.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Or 8 really, but
you got a 14. You got a 6. And this is gonna be. Okay, 6. Okay, so you were gonna take an action.
stressful.
And you were throwing a smoke potion on the ground. Can you remind me what smoke potion does?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, it's a smoke blind potion. It's
I have 2 of those.
You have 2 of them. Why do you have 2 of them?
Because you gave me 2 of them. I have 1 invisibility potion and 2 smoke.
One's a smoke blind.
1 smoke blind, 2 blink. I don't know if that's.
You also have a smoke screen. The smoke screen is the one you want to use, unless you want to sacrifice your own eyes.
Yeah, smoke screen. Okay.
Okay.
Because I also have 1 of those. Because I remember I can use that.
I know.
You just supply them with all the a bunch of awesome stuff.
Oh yeah.
Smoke
5th.
blind.
Okay, 35 by 35. XY coordinates. No, sorry. No, not XY coordinates. 35 X and Z, I guess, coordinates, and then 50 Y coordinates. So like.
Oh, it's super tall.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. So it's just okay. I will
35 by
say
35. So thick cloud of smoke, obscuring vision.
okay, sweet. As it expands, you see the smoke kind of start forming to whatever the dome is that you're in. As it kind of pushes in and swirls around on the dome. But it's not leaving whatever the dome is. As you, and it obviously envelops whoever this entity is. But he's just standing there, totally fine. And you do that, and you guys are entering combat. That's your first action. He is going to not even take his turn yet. Following that action, he's going to take a legendary reaction. and he.
All right, I'll take it. Let's go.
He's gonna cast Binding on you. You need to make.
Cool.
You need to make a will check.
Use that die.
A will check.
Will check.
Is it a will check or a will save throw?
Will check. Not physical check. It's a will check. I should tell you the DC before you tell me anything.
I like that die.
Don't tell me anything. The DC is going to be a 17.
21.
So as he's just casually sitting there, as you go into the smoke and it's clearly enveloping him, you see that little blue little purple light kind of off the wand as it goes through the smoke a little bit, and you feel this wave that enters your mind, and it kind of shimmers in your mind. But you kind of you resist it and feel it. And you're gonna push it back out, and you're okay. And you see, not because you see where he's sitting, but you see the wand kind of the light from the wand kind of lift up, and you see that he's standing now, and he stands after he casts that. It's now his turn. Okay.
Good thing I didn't get bite.
Well,
Bow.
oh,
You
during
know what?
this time, I also I
So everybody-
follow left lane and I get stuck in the.
So you're also there?
Yeah.
You're just always stacking up in the doorway.
Okay, when it comes to
We should have jumped out the window.
I should probably, before we finish resolving this, we should probably turn to
Oh, yeah.
the interior people.
Just jump out the window.
This is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna get killed in the first move.
I also need to use your restroom, so if we could take a brief break, I'm gonna take
before hell breaks loose.
this off.
Yeah, please, thank you.
I'm back in it. Okay. It's this person's turn again. And
We said we were gonna go back to the people in the rooms first.
oh, you're right. We should. No, we should go back to the people in the rooms first.
And we had noise.
I'm nosy in the sense of that. All right, let's go back to the people in the room. Okay, yeah, please do. We lose Orphanus.
So we've got-
Orphanus is not here, so let's just go back to the top where Orphanus disappears. Turn around, no one's there. Leflin sprints downstairs to what he assumes to be a conflict outside, is suspended, frozen, something stopped. Gornak does the exact same thing, trundling right behind. It's stopped. It's starting to kind of get a little bit crowded in that door frame.
I'm chucking nade at you.
No.
What would you like to do?
I was gonna jump out the window.
Dive out the window?
Mhm.
Into the street?
Into the alley.
That's why we into the alleyway?
Yeah. And because I noticed a thing.
I love that. That's like a normal.
We have about an hour, by the way.
Available is just looking at
That's
everyone.
perfect for me too. We can't go much longer than 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna open the window. You see everybody running out and you go the opposite direction?
Well, yeah, well, for one, okay. I mean, this is me explaining Kyle's thinking, I guess, which can be helpful at times. But he wants to get a different, like, he wanted to get a different, if there was a threat, he'd be at a different position.
Trying to get a different angle?
Yeah.
Cool.
Basically that, and then also, well, yeah, that was basically it. But he's gonna be keeping an eye on, like, if he can see the shimmer. He could notice the shimmering thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he sees in that corner still.
Yeah. When he jumps out the window,
You're gonna be looking for that shimmering thing more?
and basically like, yeah.
Okay, make an acrobatics check for me. You just jump. This is just for you jumping out the window.
15 feet, right?
Yes, it's 15 feet up. So I would say that if you successfully roll a 16 or higher, which is pretty hefty, I'll say that at that point you don't take any damage. You do an awesome superhero landing, or you do a roll or something like that to not take any damage.
Okay.
17.
17. Natural. I don't have anything else to modify it. So
Plus 5 acrobatics.
Okay, heard.
I have 3.
17.
What was the number again?
17.
17. Okay, so you break into a roll, and you see the shimmering. As you look to your right, outside of the alley, onto the main street, you see just the edge of the shimmering sphere.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Do I see him?
No, not yet, because you're still. This is you looking. You're in the alley still. Let's say right here, and this is the street, and then you see just the edge of the shimmering. This is you right here. This is you looking out, and you see just that edge of the shimmering right here.
So can I go around behind? Because I don't want to necessarily.
Yeah, sure. So this is like where they are.
Yep.
How big's the dome? Like, it seems to be pretty big.
How tall is it?
Like, wide. Like,
It was just poking. It just poking.
As far you can't tell the exact dimensions.
Sure.
All you can see is what the smoke is being affected by as it curves around. You can probably guesstimate by the way it's curving and the way it's moving that.
Also, you're in the smoke. You can't really see.
no, I threw it at his. I threw it at him.
You would also have been enveloped by the smoke.
It
How far away was
entire
that?
dome, right?
But from him,
Go ahead, should ask.
I probably should have asked. Yeah, I should have asked that before.
okay.
You were like 15 feet away. He kept on stepping forward towards you, and then he sat down. So he probably took 4 steps towards you, as well. Closed the distance a little bit, and
12
then
feet.
sat down. 12
Right in
feet.
front of me.
Yeah, it's 15 feet, I'd say. Probably still 15 feet.
Okay, and how was.
35.
Holy cow. It's big. Okay.
Yep.
So you, not fully immersed.
Okay.
Yeah, because when he tore into the street, he was only like, I would say like 20 feet. Yeah, probably 20 feet away from the door. So when you exited out of the
Yeah,
door
it
and
makes
into
sense.
the,
Right, yeah,
okay, cool. So, yeah, the smoke kind of basically is filling, as far as you can tell, most of the dome. Almost, most, if not all of the dome. The dome isn't particularly, or what looks kind of like a dome. Yeah, okay, it's not particularly huge.
Who are we going
Oh, yes, Joel, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna go basically out of the alley, just where I don't go touch it.
Got you.
I wanna-
Skirting around the edge, and you're seeing inside everything that's going on. You see the smoke. I'll say for clarity's sake, you see Davian throw down the smoke,
Okay.
and it fill up the dome. You see it pushing against the wall.
No, not filled with primer. That was a waste.
So you,
Sorry.
what do you do?
I'm about to die, and that's.
Well, I can't really see what's going on.
No, it's as the smoke kind of
Yeah, I can
fills
see
inside the
smoke.
dome. It's like when an octopus kind of inks and it kind of covers everywhere. You can't see anywhere else.
Well, I'm not gonna run into it. I'm going to
Oh, and I'll say that you can see through the dome. You can see the frozen
People.
You know, you can literally see Gornak like run into the and stop.
Yeah. I was like, okay. So I'm gonna get out a lightning vial, I guess.
A lightning vial.
Yeah.
And what are you gonna do?
Just hold it.
You're just gonna hold it. Or what are you waiting for?
It's
What
his
are you
comfort
preparing
vial.
for?
I'm not gonna be able to see anything.
It's a comfort vial.
Yeah, real. No, I'm not gonna be able to see anything. So basically, just sounds of an altercation, I guess.
Okay.
Before I. It'd be kind of unwise to just chuck it if I'm gonna like potentially hit Simon. So I'm gonna be hesitant to do that, and if I can like get a clear
Shot on whoever that
auditory,
is.
of the person I think would be the other
Okay.
person, then I'll try and go in that direction.
Just hold your action until you.
So you're gonna hold your action until you get a clear sign of whatever that entity is.
If there's an altercation, yes.
Okay, good deal. Sounds like a plan. Who else needs to get resolved? We'll say for the sake of,
What about Aramore?
let's say Aramore stayed up with Valeth. He didn't want to leave her. He wants to stay, and Durgan was with him.
Picks her up with one hand, throws her.
Right, just hauls her downstairs. Yeah, he's
Or
gonna-
Aelith. I mean,
Aramore's gonna stay up there with Valeth for right now. Now let's go back to resolve this entity's turn, whatever this is, because he took the legendary reaction, mind you, against Davian. Now on his turn, he is first going to use. He's gonna do the same thing. He's gonna just cast Binding again. Same will resistance.
Right.
17.
I'm gonna definitely make a boy roll.
There you go, roll.
Yeah, it was a
It's the same thing.
natural
You see the little.
Simon is our king of rerolls at this table.
Oh yeah, I succeed. That is a 20.
A 20.
Not natural.
I think he spends of all the people that are capable, he spends most core points.
Yeah, my character's founded on re-rolling. I do the least amount of damage from anyone here.
Following the rework, hopefully that won't be the same kind of thing. Which is the same kind of wave emanates towards you. Resist it. He's going to use multicast on a bonus action.
No.
Which is he's going to be able to cast 2 more,
He really wants you bound.
and he's going to.
Yeah.
I will remind you that you still have a cancel. He's gonna cast bind again, and as he's binding, he's gonna be walking forward. So he just
Okay.
bind it again.
First
bind it
one,
again.
I am gonna use it. I'm gonna guess level 5 is my median.
Level 5.
So anything from 3 to 7.
3 to 7. Okay, cool. As you reach out your hand, kind of resist. Whatever wave kind of shatters and dissipates.
Okay, one more roll, guys.
And then the next one, you kind of, you don't see his face, but you see how the wand is moving because of the glowing purple ring around the wand. And the first time it was nonchalant. Second time, a little bit more intense. And this last one, it's like a whip across. You may now roll.
Same DC?
Yes, 17,
Okay.
MDC.
Why am I rolling
Simon!
so poorly?
Is this your last score?
No, I have one more after this.
Okay.
It's gonna take a legendary.
Are you freaking? What?
Did it go through?
No, it failed.
It failed?
I failed.
You failed? You kind of, as he whips it across the last time, you can't, you only played core, you already played corner for your roll. The wave comes over you, and you resisted it twice already. And it's not that you're frail or weak or anything. You feel it, and you're gonna resist it again. And something just slips inside, past your will guard, your guard of your will, and enters your mind. And you, as you start making a move, you're stopped as well. But this time you are fully aware of what's going on. It's not like the same kind of stopping that they're experiencing. You're fully aware, and you're resisting. And he just keeps on walking forward. He says, "Oh, please." And he He's gonna wave his wand, and he's gonna just a light kind of gust of air, kind of, and the mist and smoke kind of start separating and unfolding back, and he's going to just step forward to you, and he's gonna look at you and go. And in your mind, because you're restrained, you will immediately fail any will checks made and resistance to mind threads. He's going to cast. Let me actually make sure I get this correct.
Determined thoughts. It's pretty inevitable.
It's literally just called read. And he's going to be able to communicate with you through your mind and be able to detect surface level thoughts. So nothing super deep held inside, but surface level thoughts. And he's gonna lean in, he's gonna ask him, he's gonna say, "What is your name?" And immediately when he says, "What is your name?" presumably, what name comes to mind?
Davian.
Davian. He says, "Oh, Davian. What is your last name?"
Elwell.
Elwell. And an image of Fosco flashes in your mind. There's an image just, and it seems like it came from him. Like he put it there. And you go, Davian, Elwell. And Fosco is there, grinning, leering, and gone. And he's like, oh. And he's gonna lean forward again. And this time he's gonna take his wand and just like push it against your temple, your forehead. He's gonna just push, and this literally, there's no reason for it. There's no thread that's coming out, nothing. It's just pushing directly in the center of your forehead, making an indent. You're just pushing into the center. How many stones do you have? What's the number that comes to your head?
2.
2, okay.
I genuinely don't know.
That's fine.
That's
okay.
2, yeah.
2 just flashes forward. Which ones are you thinking about?
Red
I'm sorry.
green one.
The black one, the red one.
Or just all of them, all the colors just come through your head, just,
Yeah,
just
black
cycle
and red.
through.
The first 2 that came to my mind.
Black and red, black and red. As soon as black, there's a, like the first time you've seen anything other than kind of that passivity, kind of, just like. And he leans forward. He says, "Did Waniin know?"
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Just to.
And he's gonna ask one last question as he's actually gonna drop the will bind on you after this and read as well. But he's gonna ask one last question. He's gonna say, "What did Waniin tell you?"
The first that comes to my mind,
Mm-hmm.
that he knew he was going to die soon, and that he wanted to take the Valen Council down.
Okay.
Sorry guys, this is the first thing that comes to my mind.
And you see like that charming, wonderful smile return to his face. He kind of he holds it up again, and you again recover. Everything drops. It's back to just you and him, face to face. He says, "Listen." He's gonna turn his back to you, by the way. You guys are out of combat now, because of the will bind. Unless you want to make an action or take a reaction after he drops it, because technically it is back to your turn.
I'm
As helpless as a newborn.
Yeah, I'm gonna attack him.
You're gonna try to do
take
something?
both my shotguns and go slash on his back.
You slash on his back? Okay, make an attack.
Attack of opportunity.
Attack roll. And his back is towards you, so roll with advantage.
Both advantage?
Yeah, roll with
Beautiful.
advantage.
Okay.
Better not need a corner.
You have to beat a
Okay, that's
16.
That is a 16.
16?
No, that's a 13. So that 13 plus 5. No, plus 9. I'm sorry. 13 plus 9 is
9.
21.
21, okay. So both hit? You did both?
That was my first roll.
Oh, so you just take it with
That
one second?
was
Just
I was going to do both.
both? Okay, make another attack roll with the second one.
Okay.
So one
with
hits.
advantage?
Yeah, same thing. It was advantage, but his back's towards you.
That hits. Oh, we might as well roll for natural 20 maybe. And okay, so yeah, 2 hits.
Okay. Straight across his back. Okay, roll damage.
This is nothing.
7. He's gonna get like 5 damage.
So each one does 2d6 plus 5,
Gonna
which
scratch
is
the guy.
literally nothing.
Oh.
Okay, so first one. Oh, is it plus my proficiency? So I have a proficiency in light weapons.
Yes.
Add to
Yeah.
my-
For right now.
So
Yep.
2d6.
Until we change the system,
2d6 plus 9.
which is gonna be awesome.
This is the first one.
Comprehensive.
11 plus 9 is 20, and then my second one.
20 damage.
For my first one.
Dang.
Whoa!
And my next one is 19.
19 damage.
That's not bad.
So-
What's that? 39.
The heck is where did this come from?
39 damage.
Yeah.
Dude, that is absolutely sick. That is sick.
Where did that come from? Hold on. Davian couldn't do that.
So
I forgot
as,
that I add my proficiency bonus.
as he turns his back to you, and you just like you feel them going down, so you slice across his back. You cut straight through whatever the robes are, and this two bright streaks of crimson just open up, and blood onto the ground. And he just sits there. He's bleeding. He's like, he stopped. He stops walking away. He just turns around to you. His face just same kind of passivity. He goes, why would you do that? And he's not even going to do anything in response. He's just going to continue. He's going to sit there and just look at you for a second, kind of like disappointed, upset at you. He's like, hold on.
Davian smiles.
He's just like, I'm not going to kill you. Just don't use that ring for something that you shouldn't. And try not to die when using the stones. And if you do see, what was his name again? Waniin. Let him know that the man with the key said hi. If you don't see him, well, presume that I have found him. And that he is now happily smiling with a meal. He's gonna turn back and he's gonna say, oh, and Davian.
Dang. That meal jab. Was brutal.
I'm not gonna say
Insight check.
that. And Davian, be careful when you're dabbling with things that aren't yours to dabble with. All of you. Be careful. And with that, he's going to turn his back one more time, still that bright, bloody crimson as his whole robe starts to fill with blood. And he's going to just casually wave his wand, and the air is going to tear open. And you're going to see this like crackling white energy as the air just totally rends open. It's like held, kind of like not just static electricity, but you know when you have like those globes that you touch and the electricity, it feels like it's going out to the atmosphere with all this as the air splits. And you see this, where he's walking is this beautiful, like well-groomed garden that kind of rises and is you know got its berms and hedges. And this bright blue sky above. You see what appear to be students of some kind rushing back and forth with books and long black robes, you know, to and fro. And he looks back at you, just gives you a last smile, and steps through. And then all the dome goes away.
Does the cloud of smoke appear outside of it?
No, he dissipated the cloud of smoke in the ring, and it all goes away. You saw when he dissipated the smoke everything that happened. But as you looked through the opposite side of the whatever that tear or rend was, you just see the crackling energy around, and still see him. You don't see, it's not like a two-way door. You just see there's just one way. So you just see him and like fingers are crackling energy around what appear to be some kind of an opening. But you don't see anything there. You still just see him just walking towards, and he disappears.
Huh.
And the energy disappears as well. And you guys, that means Leflin, Gornak, Talma and Ren. Again, it's not like you watched anything happen. You're just there. And like, wait, I could have sworn there was somebody else there. And we were going to go fight this person.
They see blood on the
And you're
ground.
there with bloody chakrams. The blood is still there on the ground. Standing there. Gone. Whoever he was. Back to orphans. Let's go back to orphans briefly. Thumb me through. Oh man, what
If
is
you move, you die. Is there anyone else in this building? Respond.
Well, that's a complicated question. If there's anyone else in this building, you're in this building.
Besides,
He's not
us.
looking at you still. His hands are shaking, but you're not sure if he's shaking out of fear or old age. But they're kind of like, they're trembling. He says,
Look now, I don't mean any harm. I'm just here looking around.
so you kind of turn, can I turn around?
Yes.
As he turns, he looks at you. You don't recognize his face. It's kind of a weather-beaten, kind of a pale gray face with that thick, bushy white beard, light eyes of an Isha, but with unnaturally like balding hair that kind of goes around and flowy on his back, with again what looked to be cold gear that he took off. So he's sitting there. Okay.
What are you doing here?
He drops his hands. I'm assuming you're holding a reaction in case he does anything suspicious, right?
The same thing as you. Just looking around. I promise I meant nothing wrong. Look, there's some really interesting things here.
I'm gonna cast Rend on him.
You can cast Rend on him?
I'm gonna cast Rend.
Bro.
Okay. Go ahead.
What is Ren?
What is Rend? Yeah.
Well, you're going to see this. There's going to be this loud kind of noise from the ground under, like, right in front of me. It's going to stretch out 60 feet. It's going to spread up that wall, and it's going to pass through him. I'm going to have to.
Back to being murder hobos, boys. Poor old man.
Just give me a second.
You wouldn't do that.
What fun one?
Yeah, let me know.
Leflin would just shoot the child.
No.
Leflin's the kind of guy to have like a little peasant person just like coming out after that weird thing happened. Kills him.
No, every time I've had a
Level 5
reason-
thread? Okay.
It's a 5-foot line in there, and it happens nearly instantaneous. So if they succeed,
There's no reaction.
there is a reaction, but on a success, you still take half damage.
I know, but I'm saying he's not. He is not trying to defend against it. He doesn't even know what that is. So there's no way he doesn't even see that as an attack. It just happens to him.
Okay.
Like he is not in a position to where he's like, oh yeah, that thing's trying to kill me. I'm trying to get it out of the way. I'm gonna dodge. You know, he's just there. He's like, what is happening? And then you're casting Rend on him.
Yeah.
How much is the base damage?
5d12.
Okay.
You're just gonna kill him. What are you doing? What? This is worse than
Gotta love
Leflin.
casual murder.
Aiden's got this whole story plan for this guy, and then he's
I don't think
Aiden's world is just
Look at the pain in
crumbling.
his eyes.
we're murder hobos. I mean, what do you expect? We're
Seth,
just a
this is
group of-
worse than what Leflin did.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I
Leflin,
have
like,
a
killed a bunch of kids.
33
Burned
damage.
Shit, right?
That's it. I did more with 2 hits with my
And
chakram.
it's like a tear like through air, or
Yeah, it's going to be like
it just literally just tears space
Basically.
Like,
Gosh.
That's worse than what.
as he's standing there, what was before an elderly man trembling, in a second, his eyes kind of grow wide as he sees kind of the crack kind of form, and then a red mess and like bones and like blood and like fat just all
I cast
against.
arcane protection so the blood doesn't hit me.
Brutal. That's cold. That is cold, man.
Dude, you
Holy cow. Yeah, that's dope. So like he's all over the books and the table that he was working on with the red ink, and all over his clothes, and his like literally the two stumps of legs that are the remaining just fall down, and the window, that window's back again receives a crack that has a 5-foot line, shatters through it, the spider webs out, and you see the daylight visage of some kind of a landscape, that green landscape that you had identified previously.
We'd probably like split it all the way up.
I'm sorry,
There's snowy this time.
it is winter. Thank you for reminding me that, Sam. It is snowy outside, not just greenside. So it's this brown snow drift, even in Thresdia.
Oh, I actually.
So you're standing there. As you cast arcane protection, the mess kind of all over, and then
I walk over to the desk, look at his book.
I mean, it's covered in just mess, like human mess.
I pick up the ink release and smell it.
You smell the ink.
Blood.
Make a notice check with disadvantage because of how much blood is everywhere right now.
It's 11 and then 12, so 11 plus, what was my notes? Oh, 11 plus 3, so 14.
14. I mean, with just the amount of sheer human remains that are just scattered across the room right now, your nose is not that keen. You can't pick out one individual. Right now, it's just a wash of that metallic, meaty smell of very suddenly opened body.
Okay.
So you're not really able to tell if it's blood or not.
I'm going to use weave to write in the ground. I say, Elgaden, I'm going to say, Elgaden, beware the dragon's wrath.
Is that Gaiden, beware the dragon's wrath?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Who's
Daniel.
am I
Okay.
dumb or?
So you kind of, as you.
Oh, dumb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you good.
I am going to walk to the font. I believe there was an open book there last time. Is there still an open book there at the font?
I would say, yeah, that book is still there. It's still there. And it wasn't covered by, like, the blood and the mess scattered up and around, but it didn't get all the way over to the font.
Okay. I'm going to go over there and take that book.
Just straight up, just take it.
I'm going to lift it up with weave. And yeah, I'm going to take it. I am going to. Is there an exit entryway to out of this building?
The same one that was there, that door, that same door that was the exit door. That you can enter and exit, remember?
No, not out of, go back. I'm gonna like leave the building.
Oh, you mean leave like the tower?
Yeah.
No, there's just that window that you've shattered. Like, as far as you can tell, it's just that one door. Like, that is the entry and
I'm
exit.
gonna cast Detect Weave and see if there's any ulterior entryways besides the one I can.
Did you roll for detective?
No, I don't. But that is something to change with the system. So
Well, we'll talk about that later. But for right now, two things you notice. What are you first looking for? I'm sorry.
Anything reminiscent of the doorway I just came in, but through a different way. So
Oh, you mean like a different path in?
Yeah, a different path in.
Like except for the doorway you just entered into. You do not sense anything of that nature.
Okay. Do I sense any objects or anything that give off?
I will say for a passing flicker of a moment, you sense something very odd. Like, usually when you have your weave sense, it's a, little, you kind of, any, like highlighting loot kind of, you kind of get a sense of what's there, what's bound it, what kind of weave is holding it together. And it's like sonar in that there's not really like in between, it's only what is. However, for a brief moment, it feels like you're being watched for a flicker of a moment, just and it's like when you sensed it, it immediately went away. Like just as you reached out with weave and sensed that it was there, it went away.
Do you have like a direction of where that's coming from?
Yeah, it was, let's say, it was like 15 feet just in the air looking down on you.
Oh, in the air.
Yeah, and it just disappeared. The red mess is just sitting there, just steaming.
Seth, that was horrible. That's worse than
I'm
never
gonna-
fun stuff.
I'm gonna walk over to the shelves and I'm gonna start scanning nonchalantly, see if there's anything talking about.
I think nonchalantly is crazy.
That's wild.
Continue. Let's hear it. Yeah, let's hear it. Yeah.
Okay, the book was nonchalant, no less.
I'm scanning the shelves for like any, because I have a very rudimentary understanding of Draconic, but I'm scanning for anything on not just Teamcraft, but what are some like something that would catch my eye? I guess I don't know, something that would be.
You have to give me a little bit more specific.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Because if you're looking, if you one don't know the language very well, and two are looking for something, you need to be looking for something specific.
I'm gonna look for something that's the Song of Sorrows.
It's something that says the Song of Sorrow.
No, like it's something that like any of the titles.
I'll say we don't have to roll for this.
Okay.
I'll say that the nature of the things here are not going to be aren't going to relate to the Song of Sorrows.
No.
These are of a different flavor. So if that's what you're looking for, you don't find it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll look for. Do they have any lineages, like books of lineages, or like?
Draconic lineages?
Yeah.
Make an
Or
investigation.
blooded. Okay. Yeah.
Make an investigation check.
That is going to be 17.
17. It's pretty good. You do a pretty thorough sweep of what you can see. Again, you're regardless of how nonchalant you are, your investigation is somewhat hampered by the amount of blood that's been spattered across the bookshelves.
Sure.
So it's a little hard to make out some of the lines that you just skim over them. Even though they're raised, there's maybe one or two times where you're just like picking skin off of like that's been smattered across the bookshelf, peeling it off in a way.
Ancients. Is there anything on ancients?
Make another investigation check.
That is a 17. No, 18. 18, sorry.
An 18. Again, as you're kind of just scanning through, your Draconic is not that good. You started learning it when you found the orb, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. On 18, so there's one book that, again, you're looking. I'm considering this through the mess that you've just made.
Yeah.
And regardless of whether or not you care, some
Yeah,
adrenaline,
obviously, yeah.
and that's kind of difficult to see. I'll say that you find a book that seems to be somewhat satisfactory. It's the title is a little hard to make out because you don't really know Draconic. It seems like a complicated, long title.
Okay.
But as you're scanning through, it has what you can tell a discussion, or it contains like a treatise or discussion about the nature of pre-torrent Draconic ancients. The big five. And you pick out like names that you recognize, right? Like Whereabat and Danax. And these names are pretty common in lore. Like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Those could talk about ancients. But other than that, you're kind of just kind of at a loss right now.
Okay. Is the bowl on the pedestal, or I remember there being like a bowl or something like that.
There wasn't a bowl.
Okay, can you re-describe the room?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
No, you do.
So you have your, where the door is, right, and then you have the spiraling staircase that goes down into that main room. That is again that vaulted, like bookcases, and they kind of just go up and up and up with ladders around. They go up and up and up, and you're just on that bottom level, looking around on what seems to be the most important, most pertinent books, as far as you could tell when you originally did your investigation. It seemed like as you went up, there were more scattered to the point where it got to the higher you got, like books that just barely had a mention of draconic presence at all. But as you go down, it seems to be more focused, more readily necessary. So you have that, and then kind of like a half crescent, you kind of have that raised dais that is that room with the font in the center. And that's where you originally had that book that you were interacting with. And that is about, let's say, 15 feet before the glass window, the stained glass window with the depiction of the dragon and the stars all across. And that's the one you just shattered or broke or part of it. And there again is those stairs in that raised dais area that lead up to a balcony that is makes yourself right next to the window.
Okay.
And on that balcony, there's no shelves or anything. It's just literally a marble balcony. And you could kind of get the impression that somebody could speak from that balcony into where that dais area is, even though the font's there. But yeah, that's a rough depiction. And you have that door that, if you remember correctly, when you enter into, it made you go to places.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everybody who's not currently here. I also am aware that it's not
I'm going to take
somebody.
those two
If I was
books
here, I'd
and I'm going to go back through the door that I came into.
You're just going to enter back through the door with the 2 books?
I'm actually also going to. Can I decipher anything through the blood and mess, like after turning over a few pages, what the guy was reading?
Well, what he was reading.
Yeah. Or
What do you-
writing. I can tell if there's a title.
Well, there were 2 books. One that he was writing and one that he was reading. He was writing in something and then he was reading another. Which one would you look for?
I would like to look at the title of the book he was reading. So open up the blood mess. I would like to look at what it is.
10 seconds.
Um,
Getting on to the main.
Make a. There's no language check that you can make,
Here's fine.
but I want you to get it right. Make a. Just roll a d20 for me.
16.
16, and this is where we would be able to add something like.
Yeah. Like an intellect.
Yeah, it would make a lot of sense. Okay, 16. The page, after you flip the page, blood is seeped through most. So you flip a couple pages to where it's less stained red. It looks to be prose, like a lyric prose in a traditional fashion of some kind, and then you flip the book closed, and it says something about some kind of a poem, some kind of an epic poem,
Okay.
perhaps. It's a big book,
Okay.
so you get the sense that it is some kind of a poem. You're not sure what it's about. You get different images as you flip through, or like words like fire, words like failure, darkness, death. You can continue. You skip the big bloody part, and you go to something like falling, separation, change. These are kind of just these words that you know because they're negative words that are pretty common to identify, especially through Draconic from Elvish.
Yeah.
So as you're flipping through, you can see that. But you don't get like a good sense of what it is, other than the fact that it's an epic poem of some kind, probably about dragons. It's got a lot of blood on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am going to. I'm gonna burn everything down. I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast.
You're-
flaming glyphs.
Okay.
Guys, what the
Or dancing glyphs. Sorry.
What about
Dancing glyphs.
Seth and Simon are on something tonight.
Me? What did I do?
You attacked the dude.
That makes sense though.
No,
does a little bit.
So
I didn't blow some face.
You can. I know lots of you can. Just making sure you're burning it down. You don't. You are. Cool. Cast glyphs.
Give me the
Cast flaming glyphs.
Yeah.
You keeping the books that you have?
Yes, I am.
I mean,
Okay. All right. A farmer, about let's say a half mile away, casually tending to his smattering of cows. His son lightly didn't just die.
That gamer did.
That's fine. We're about done, so we're wrapping it up. His son frolicking and dancing through the tall grass as the cows kind of meander and moo. Farmer rests himself back against a tree and looks out across the pasture and sees this old, abandoned, rod-looking little shack. It's been there for who knows how long. As he's looking, Orphanus, I'm assuming you step out of after you
I
cast
go
the
through the
front.
door I came through. I get back to my friends.
Okay, with books.
With the bloody one included.
Okay, so all three.
All three of them. The one on the one there.
Just those three?
Just those three.
Okay. Okay.
And I might as well just take one more.
Just random one?
No, yeah. Just,
Roll a d20 for me about that one, and just keep that number. Doesn't
Someone
matter.
just read every single book.
Okay, so that farmer is looking out across, kind of yawning. Oh, sun's getting ready to set, so he's gonna probably push the cows back. He looks at that old shack, the far end of his property. Well, not his property, I should say, the Lord's property. And there is a flash of fire that erupts from, and he's, what? It's like a wave of heat. Washes across, and all the cows kind of look out towards whatever it was that made that, because surely the sun's not coming up yet. But the farmer's kind of like blown back. He's like, what is going on? As this fire, and like little pieces of wood. These are like falling down, like this smoldering, eruption of wood, and oddly enough, more than should be there. Seems like glass and some strange, like almost ash that would be from paper, some stone and other things. It explodes as if something is compressed and holded in until like boils over and boom, explodes. And these things fly way far and away. 300 miles away, sitting on the edge of his bed in pajamas, or what account for evening robes, a prince with a ring around his finger and a blank book open on his desk. Feels a searing, burning, ire-like pain shoot through his arm. Rips it off. His consort, what, my lord? Wakes up from the bed. He's sizzling, burning skin. He looks around, he's like, what? He rushes over to the book, and kind of like finger goes down to the ring. It's like picks up the ring, starts like put it back on, but it's like burning hot, like this red burning heat, and he drops it again, and he's like furious, and he forces it onto a finger anyway, and starts like flipping through the pages. He's seeing like all these words that were there start disappearing off the pages. He's like, no. Similarly, in Davian and Ren, fresh off of Milladine, comfortably in his own establishments and accoutrements provided by the Riven government, after a long day of a slogging council with the Riven council and the Final High Council and his fellow Dresden princes, Elgaden, oddly enough, in a similar stance, sitting on the end of his bed, feels a searing, burning pain in his chest, and he pulls up the ring that's around his silver necklace, Oops, sorry, I just bumped the pulls the ring around the necklace and pulls it off and throws it on the ground. And he's like, what? No. He rushes over to a heavy wooden chest. Says, no, those bastards. Fishes under one of his pillows for a heavy golden key, just fits it in, goes to a desk. He had separated the keys whenever he had first arrived. He kind of fishes through the desk for the key, pulls it out, shoves it into the big wooden chest, unlocks it, pulls out this big tome. No, puts it on the ground. Tears are starting to well up in his eyes. He grabs the ring, puts it on. Despite the pain, starts flipping through the book, and words sort of off the pages and evaporate and disappear. No. And an orphaness apparates back into Basikaal, a small inn next to Aramor and Valeth. The orb drops back on the ground. Valeth looks at him. She has eyes that say she knows what you did. She sees the blood, the hands. That's what we're gonna end tonight.
He didn't let me blood go on, actually.
He has the book with the blood on it.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Riven Vanguard, where we frick things up.
What was the first prince's name?
Thank you guys so much for listening in. And thank you guys for showing up tonight. Totally fun. It's cool. So.
Make sure to
That was
hit
crazy.
like and subscribe.
No, don't do that. Please.
Slap that like button.
Don't help the algorithm in any way. We don't want anybody seeing this.
That was
wild. What did you know?
Everything.
Does he know anything? I feel like he just like.
Maybe it was all impulse.
Yeah,
Maybe it
just
was.
impulse, yeah.
Most will open his does do.
No.
He thinks
Sometimes I'm gonna have an impulse to like.
No. Yeah.
Burn everything down.
Watch the world burn.
If Kyle had been there and seen what he did, he would have been there.
Hey.
Explanation.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
I should also mention a far too young of a wife and three children never get to see their elderly father again.
Good job, Seth. Good job. You.
Thank you for throwing that in there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should also. Villain arc started.
Sweet.
Interesting. That was
Bill Nars.
very
Thus concludes
unexpected.
our first filmed episode. Come back
Yeah.
next time
It's
for
gonna be
to see Leflin shoot another child.
You want riveting action where weavers destroy long-made ancient lore dumps?
That would
Do
be
you want to see a child get shot in the throat with an arrow? Or old man split in half? Or a weaver who acts like a god manhandle one of our party? Join in next time for the Riven Vanguard. We'll be back. Where's Waniin? Is he alive? Is he dead? Does the guy know where he's at? I don't know. We'll find out.
Same Riven time, same Riven channel.
Tune in next time.
Writing the description for this is gonna be.
Is it 5 months from now yet?
All right. Well, with
Is it
that-
5 months? I remember. Is it 5 months from now yet?
All right. So everybody say bye.
Bye.
That's